we're here.
Yay.
Hello. Yo. Welcome to another BuyBotPro training session. Good to see you. We just had a little bit of gremlins. Karen was in one room on her own saying, "Where am I?" And I'm like, "I'm here. Where are you?" And like she had 0 viewers, and I had you guys in here, so we don't know what went wrong, but we were here on time. Just something went a little bit wrong. So thanks for being patient and waiting the 3 minutes that it took us extra to get in here. But yeah, just great to see you. Hi, Karen. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Good evening. How are you?
Good. I'm really good, thanks. And it's good to see everybody in here tonight. So people will keep coming in, so that's good. If you want to let us know where you're from, what your name is, where you're from, and whatever in the chat, we'll shout you guys out. Just as we wait for a few more people to come in, we're already up to 76 people live, which is a nice turnout. We're expecting probably close to 100. So we'll just give it a couple of minutes and we'll give you guys a shout out. But tonight we have, as usual, got a bunch of training videos for you. So the format is we'll do a training video and it's a pre-recorded video. We'll play the video and then we come back to us guys and then we'll do Q&A on that feature and then we'll go again and we'll keep going and see if you guys are fed up or we run out of videos or run out of questions. And that's basically it. So let us know in the chat where you're from and we'll give you a good shout out. So we've got Roger, we've got Zahir, we've got Larry. Larry has arrived, he says. Steve from South Africa. That's my best South African accent. I think it's excellent. Oh, Karen thinks it's garbage. South Africa. South Africa. Is that not good? You tell me, Steve, is that a good South African accent or not? I think it's amazing. Hi, Andrew, Mick, Peter, Alpha. What's up, Alex? Marta's in the building. Henry, another South African. What do you think, Henry? Is it a good South African accent or not? Hey, Jay. Holly Pebbles is in the building. She's literally just there. Karen from South Florida. Nice. Tony Lincoln. I'm in Lincoln, Tony, so we're just down the road. I'm sure. Andrew in Lichfield, Staffordshire. James in Gloucester. We've got Joshua just saying, yo. We've got Shauna from Seattle. I love how international these sessions are, Karen, don't you?
Yeah, they're great. I love it.
Zahir's from Accrington. Accrington, Stanley. Who are they? Do you remember that or not?
No.
Do you remember that? Zahir, do you remember that? Or am I showing my age?
Yeah, because you're so much older than me. That's the problem.
Okay, it was an advert from back when I was a kid. Accrington, Stanley, who are they? Or something like that. I remember, just got some brief memory of that. Talha from Huddersfield, Boldy from Florida, Vanessa from North Carolina, Roger from Basingstoke. We've got Dina in Moldova. That's pretty exotic for BuyBotPro training, but it's good to see you. We got more South Florida. Carol Nanaimo from Canada, which is amazing. I love our Canadian friends as well. Sarah from London, Sahal from Manchester, Ian from London, Denise in Surrey, Matt from Stamford. Stamford's lovely. Stamford's where we go, isn't it all? Yeah, I think so. For a walk round, Stamford's lovely. If it's the one I'm thinking of, it's lovely. You got a little like rivery stream thing running through it, and beautiful little town centre. It's lovely there. Everything's stone buildings. We go for a walk round there sometimes. If it's the one I'm thinking of, it is that, isn't it? Yeah. We love Stamford. It's lovely. Zane in the UK. Peter from Hungary. Wow. Mike from Gloucester. Alex, Newcastle, full-time Amazon seller interested in this new software. Great stuff, Alex. Good to see you. Tamika's in Germany. Awesome. And he says, will these videos be available after, as I might have to hop out early? Yeah, absolutely. Assuming that the technology holds up, it will be recorded and we'll post it on the BuyBotPro YouTube channel and in the BuyBotPro Facebook group. Hi, Jack from Los Angeles. Shakira from London. Henry's in UK now. Okay. East London. Darren, I'm not going to read everyone out. We've got so many people here. Sanju, Tenerife. Leon in Croydon. Hi, Gabrielle. It keeps going. I'm not going to read everyone out because you guys will just be bored of it. Average South African accent to say. Stephen said excellent, and the other guy, who was the other guy again? Huh? Henry. Sorry, Henry said average, and Stephen said excellent.
You don't know what you've done, guys. Honestly, every time I talk to him now, he's going to tease me about that.
I will.
Every time.
I'm not South African. I've never been to South Africa. So to give it an excellent and an average when I'm not is pretty damn good. You want to hear my American accent?
No, we don't. We really
you do.
Don't. No, we really don't.
It'll blow you away. My American accent. It's really good. Anyway, right. Great to see you guys. Thanks for joining us. Without further ado, we won't waste any more time. What we will do is we'll get cracking. But it's wherever you're from the world, wherever you're from in the world, we're super happy to have you here. And hopefully you're going to get loads of value from this. Like I say, it's not often you get to speak to the creators of the software and ask them any questions you want. So we're going to teach you some stuff tonight. We're going to teach you some features, hopefully teach you some stuff you don't know. And you get direct access to us to ask any questions you want. And if you've got any feedback, you want us to add some features and stuff, you can tell us tonight and we'll get them on the list and we'll get them in there. So, yeah, great to see you all. Do you want to say anything, Karen, before we get started?
I think what I'd like to say, obviously, is hi, everyone, and welcome. But I think what we're going to do is we'll as Matt's mentioned, we're going to play some videos and then we're going to come back in between each one and talk to you about that feature and answer all your questions and such like. What we've got also to share with you is a video sneak peek of Buybot Go, so how that's coming along in terms of, it's not finished yet. It's nearly, very, very nearly there though. So we're going to share that with you a bit later. And I'm going to share with you what we're working on next for BuyBotPro as well. So I'll share that a bit later. We've got a couple of VAT videos to go through. So we're going to do those right at the end so that those people from the US who are with us tonight don't need to stay with us for the VAT because it doesn't affect those. So we will do those last, and then just the people in the UK can stay for those because they're great information, new information within BuyBotPro. So I think that'd be really helpful. So that's how we're going to structure it tonight.
Yeah, so VAT is just sales tax that in the UK and Europe, we call it VAT. I think we call it VAT in Europe, don't we? They call it VAT? Yeah. Yes, it's just sales tax. It's like sales tax, but obviously VAT is not going to affect our American or Canadian friends. So we'll do them at the end so you guys can just exit early and you don't have to watch through that stuff. And we'll keep all the stuff that's relevant to everybody first. Yeah, okay. So yes, Henry's asking, is Buybot Go the mobile app? No, BuyBotPro Mobile is the current mobile app, but we have rebuilt from the ground up BuyBotPro Mobile, and we are going to be calling it Buybot Go. So yes, it is the mobile app, but it's not the current one, it's the new one. So we've got some really talented mobile developers that have been working on it full-time for months now, and they've rebuilt it from the ground up, and we're going to be calling it Buybot Go because it's literally, there's not a single line of code that is the same as far as I'm aware. It's all brand new. But these same devs that are working on Buybot Go built our Profit Protector Pro mobile app. So that's our repricer. So anybody that's used the Profit Protector Pro mobile app will know it is rock solid. We do not get any bug complaints or anything. And now I said that, we're going to get bloody half a dozen. But we get none. Like, it's rock solid. They are talented devs. And we've had them build the Buybot Go mobile app. So this will be the fifth rebuild, but this time it's not on untested devs that we don't know, that we've never worked with before. This is on tested devs that we've worked with before that are rock solid. So we're really excited about Buybot Go. When do we estimate it's going to be ready, Karen? Are we saying September?
Yeah, a couple of weeks or so, something like that.
2 weeks it'll be out in open beta for you guys, presumably, or at least in September you'll get it in open beta. So we'll probably have to iron out a few kinks, of course, but it should be a whole lot better than the current mobile app. So we're super excited about that. When we're looking to develop that as well, Buybot Go, our intention is to make Buybot Go the best retail arbitrage app in the world without a shadow of doubt. So that's our goal, that's our aim. And you guys will get Buybot Go for free, included with your Buybot Pro subscription. So it's all good.
It's all good. So let's get stuck into the first one. What should we do first?
Let's do it. Right, let's have a look what we got. iOS S we need to leave to the last, don't we?
Yeah.
BuyBot
Pro score.
Yeah, let's do that. Are you starting it or am I starting it?
No, I can start it, but just before I do, I just want to say, a couple of these videos I did, but some of these videos have been done by one of our team members, Kaylee. So it's a nice way to start to introduce you to Kaylee. She's a great member of the team, and she's looking after some of the videos tonight. So you'll hear Kaylee's voice, and she'll be part of tonight as well.
You'll also hear on one of the videos Holly's voice, because she's done one as well. So it's not all Karen or me. I've not done any today. I'm just lazy boy.
No, the idea is for Kaylee to take over doing them, but these two I'd already done before we made that decision. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah, Holly's built the BuyBot Go app, so she's done that completely on her own with our devs. So she's done the video for you as well. But let's start with BuyBot Pro score, because I think that's a great one to start with.
Okay, so what we're going to do, guys, we are going to go quiet. We're going to turn our mics off and turn our cameras off. We're still here with you, but we're going to roll the video. And then after the video's done, they're all shortish videos. We'll come back. We'll do Q&A on that feature or answer your questions. We'll go to chat, and then we'll go for another feature video. So, yeah, without further ado, let's roll the tape.
Let's do it.
Okay, so what I'm going to talk about in this video is the BuyBot Pro score. So what is it? How does BuyBot Pro come up with that number, and why is it so important? So first of all, what is it? It's unique to BuyBot Pro. I guess it's kind of the foundation of BuyBot Pro, because it analyzes that product or the deal that you're looking at, and it gives it a score out of 100, so a percentage. It color codes it so you can straight away see, whether it's a good score or not. Doesn't just give you all the information, then kind of leave you to work it out and think, am I working it out right? Is it good? Is it not good? It analyzes hundreds of different data points and then gives you that number, and also picks out certain pieces of information as well to show you in order to illustrate why it's given it that score. So I'm just going to show you. So I'm going to input my buy price here. I'm just going to put £30 or $30 and then click analyze. So like I said, at the click of that button, it's analysing hundreds of data points to come up with that score for you. So you can see here it's given me a score of very good. It's green, so straight away it's good, 82.43%. And then it's pulled out those details. So Amazon's on the listing, good return on investment at 43%, and the recent 30-day estimated sales have been awesome. So straight away, I know that it's a pretty good score, and it's also suggesting that I purchase 2 of them as well, because you've got your suggested purchase quantity just underneath. So like I said, what does it take into account? So a lot of the things I can show you here. So you've got things like hazmat, eligibility. Are you eligible to sell the product? Does it come under dangerous goods? Meltable, IP radars, obviously really important. BuyBot Pro's link to get unsuspended. Having that information about brand owners protecting their IP rights. So of course, if that was red, it wouldn't give it a good score, because it wouldn't advise that you would sell the product. Then you've got, of course, the numbers. So things like the BSR, your profit margin, your break even, your ROI, your profit, all of these things BuyBot Pro is analysing, at that one time to come up with the score. Then, of course, you've got things like your graph. So all of this data BuyBot Pro is taking into account. So obviously, as I mentioned earlier, you've got things like BSR, is Amazon on the listing? Price stability is obviously really important, because you don't want kind of it to be really unstable and you're not going to know what profit you're going to be making if you're going to be making a profit. So that's something it will definitely take into account. So all of that is fed into the score, as well as obviously hundreds of things that we can't see because it's all different data points. There's one really important thing to remember that it takes into account, which is your criteria. So if you come to your settings, you scroll down a little bit, you see you've got your criteria here. So if you don't edit this, BuyBot Pro will obviously still score it, will give it a sensible score, it will be an accurate score, but it won't be personalised to you. So if you change these, obviously this is your criteria. So as a personal thing to you, what is a good deal? So it will take those into account when it scores that product. So you can see here you've got minimum maximum profit, minimum maximum BSR, and minimum maximum ROI. So everything there will be taken into account. So if I come back here quickly, you can see, for example, one of the things that's picked out is a good return on investment of 43%. You can see here it's 43.7. So if I was to come up to my criteria and change my criteria for my ROI, so let's say a minimum ROI of 50%, and obviously we know it's currently 43.7. Now don't forget, if you change anything, to click on save and sync so that it saves those changes, and it will then refresh BuyBot Pro and then I can click Analyze again and get the new score. So I'm going to click Analyze again, analyzing hundreds of data points in, you know, a second, basically, while you sit there. And now you can see that the score has changed to does not meet your criteria, because as we know, my minimum ROI criteria is now 50%, and it's not meeting that because it's 43.7. So that's just an illustration of how you can personalize that criteria and then kind of, you know, make sure that BuyBotPro has even more information to make it even more personalized to you. So then if I come back, and I'm just going to change that again. So I'm just going to put 1%, save and sync. BuyBotPro will do its thing and refresh. Then I'm going to click Analyze once more, and then come down, look at my score, and you'll see we're back up to very good. And obviously one of the things it's picking out again is the good return on investments. So that's the BuyBotPro score. Amazing analysis, you know, at the click of a button, taking into account your criteria that you've input, as well as hundreds of other data points that's available to it in order to give you a score. And, you know, so important when you're making your decisions. That's the BuyBotPro score. Back to you, Matt.
Oh, I liked it. I liked it. Right, just one thing I want to mention, what Kaylee didn't mention on there, and I assume it's not changed, Karen, is that also in your settings, you've got max buy count and you've got a budget. Has that changed, Karen, or is it still the same?
Yeah, that's still the same, but that's not part necessarily of that's the suggested purchase quantity rather than
sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Score. But yeah, you're absolutely right. You have your bits in there for your suggested purchase quantity, because BuyBotPro can also look at that for you and tell you how many it thinks that you should buy. But it won't recommend a suggested purchase quantity below 68% score, because it needs a human eye to have a look at it if there's things that could be a bit either way. Yeah. So
it was the 2 suggested purchase quantity, because it was like, that's a good deal. Why is it only saying 2? And that's what got me thinking. It's because of the max buy count and the budget in the settings. We've done that on another training, but it's worth mentioning. So yeah, you're right. It doesn't affect the BuyBotPro score, but it does affect the suggested purchase quantity.
Yeah, and I think BuyBotPro is looking at thousands of different data points when it analyzes that deal. And, you know, I know because we built it. So it's literally thousands and thousands of data points. And it's such a unique feature within BuyBotPro. And it's like having someone looking over your shoulder as you're doing your sourcing, you know, saying, oh, have you missed this? Or have you thought about that? And, you know, really making sure that you know what's going on with your deal. And you can't kid it either, because if you try and like put in a really high sell price and think like BuyBotPro will give it a really great score, it won't. It will look at it and say, no, I don't think that sell price is realistic. You're not going to be able to sell it for that, so I'm going to mark it down. So yeah, so it's really, really super clever.
It's really smart in ways that you wouldn't expect as well. So things like when we say thousands of data points, Kaylee said hundreds, it's literally thousands. And let me just give you an example of something that it looks at, right? I don't know if we're giving away a trade secret here, but no other software does this anyway. So they can try and copy if they want to. But this is the one feature that nobody tries to copy, because it's blooming hard to build what we built in this. But for example, right, it will look at a year ago, next 3 months sales, if you know what I mean, to try and predict what the next 3 months sales are going to be like this year. Do you know what I mean? It's little things like that. It's just one thing that it looks at, and that goes into the score. But there's loads of other stuff that goes into the score, and it's super smart. But what it's really good for is 2 things, really. One, it's good for brand new beginner sellers. If you don't know what you're doing on online arbitrage and you don't know whether to buy it or not, well, in recent years, selling on Amazon has become a bit of a minefield. And to do it manually without a tool is like walking through a minefield, blindfolded, drunken, running around in circles. You're going to hit a landmine. It's not good. So it takes the guesswork out of it. It's looking at all the things that could trip you up as a brand new seller and just going, yeah, this looks really good. So if you're a brand new seller and just stuck to buying green deals, then you're not going to go too far wrong. But then people might say, oh, it's beginner feature. You don't really need it because I can see all the data and all the data is there. And veteran sellers can just look at the data if they want. But what it gives you is a second pair of eyes. So if you look at it and think, wow, this is a great deal, and you're a veteran seller, you know what you're doing, you've been selling for years, you know what you're looking for, and the data all looks good. But then the BuyBotPro score is red. You can hover over it, and it will tell you those things, and it might give you an idea of something you missed. So when you're analyzing fast, maybe there's a sale or clearance sale just come out, and you're trying to get stock quick before they sell out. Having that score there it's like a second pair of experienced eyes looking at the deal for you. So even veteran sellers that have been doing it for years, that are selling hundreds of thousands a year, they even love this feature, because it's just like, you can get tired eyes, you can get a bit like, you can get a little bit gambly. You know, if you're not find a deal in a while that you want to buy and you're like, okay, I'll go for it. But then there it is, red. And you're like, okay, what's it say? And then you go, okay, I won't do it. So whether you're a beginner or you're an advanced seller, it's a super useful feature.
Yeah, it's an amazing feature. So should we answer some of the questions that people have got? So Baldy asked, can BuyBotPro do the job for used books? BuyBotPro at the moment is working on new goods rather than used goods, but it is something that is on the list for the future. It's just the feature list for BuyBotPro, and BuyBotPro has already got, like, you know, so many features. The list for BuyBotPro features is, I don't know how many pages long. Literally,
we've got something huge going in next, though, don't we?
One after next, yeah.
Oh, one after next, sorry.
Yeah, one after next. Yeah. Really, really, really big feature. So yeah.
And obviously, all features, with BuyBotPro, all features you get for free, kind of thing. So every upgrade we ever put in, we grandfather you in your price. So even if we increase the price of our software, you won't pay any more. You'll always pay whatever you're paying now. So whenever you become a customer, you lock that price in for life until you cancel. If you cancel, obviously, and then come back, you'll pay the higher price. But if you stay with us, you'll pay that low price no matter what happens with the price and no matter what happens with the features. But we have full-time devs working on BuyBotPro, as we do Profit Protector Pro, and all our projects, actually. We don't have any projects that we don't have full-time devs on. So we are always making the software better. So every month you should see incremental or major feature updates every single month, and you never pay any more for them. We lock the price in across all of our software.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jackie asked if you can automatically add products to buy sheet, as she keeps forgetting. If you are talking about BuyBotPro, absolutely, and we are going to cover that tonight. If you're talking about Buybot Go, there is a purchase history part of it, but I think Holly's answered that already, that it's on the list to do. But there's like a purchase history part, which we'll show you on the app when we play that video. And you can see it, so it keeps account of what you've purchased and what you've looked at and stuff as well for you.
So we actually invented this feature, Jackie, the BuyBotPro export feature, one-click export. So it wasn't in any other software anywhere on earth. We literally invented this. And we just thought, what a great idea. And you just click once and it copies over all the data. So you've got your ASIN posted in there, you've got your price, you've got everything. If you want to put your source URL, so where you bought the product from, that's optional. You don't have to put it in there if you don't want to, but you can put that in there, and it just, in one click, it populates everything. So there's no having to copy and paste. There's no forgetting, like you just said. It's literally one click. So you go one click to analyze. You go, yeah, I'm buying that. You go buy the products. One click to export to your buy sheet, and then it sits there on your buy sheet. Then you can do whatever you want with that data. You can keep it on that buy sheet. You can export it to different software, whatever you want. But yeah, it's in there.
We'll cover that next.
Okay, we're going to cover that next. There you go. Okay,
yeah, we'll cover that next. So Henry's offered to be an early tester if we need a new one. Thanks, Henry. Holly's answered a few questions, I think. So Gabriel's asked us, which max BSR percent would you recommend? Well, that kind of depends on what the category is, because the categories and the BSRs are different. Obviously, if you can get a 1% deal, then it's selling the quickest that it sells. I think we used to look at it as though sort of top 3 was okay. Obviously top 1's the best, and there's plenty of products that are in the top 1%, loads of deals in the top 1%, but top 3 or top 4 are all good, aren't they? They're all acceptable.
Often some people will source top 5% as well, because top 5% will sell. just if it's 5%, it's not likely to be a super fast seller. But usually there's less competition on the listings as well. So it swings and roundabouts. But yeah, top 1%, they usually fly out off the shelves. But usually heaviest competition. Sometimes, a lot of the time, Amazon will be on those listings as well, which it doesn't have to be a deal breaker. I never let it stop me buying products, especially if you've got a Profit Protector Pro, because you can run rings around Amazon on their own listings by using the bunker buster technique, as I call it. And it will literally take the buy box off Amazon if they're being super aggressive. But oftentimes they share it anyway. But you skipped something, Karen. You skipped something. Mike said really great repricer. So I'm assuming Mike is a Profit Protector Pro user, lover, and fan. And we're big fans of it as well, because honestly, it is so powerful, and it really delivers the goods in a way that none of the old school big name repricers that everybody knows about. I won't mention them tonight. We're not here to bash anybody, but like, they've been around forever. They a little bit dinosaur. They don't really do things like they should. And Profit Protector Pro runs rings around them. So it's good to see that feedback from Mike, that he loves it.
Absolutely. So Vanessa says, if we don't fill in the criteria box, does BuyBotPro automatically default? Yes, if you don't touch the criteria box, BuyBotPro will automatically score your deal as a Joe average score. So it will look at all the points and it will give you a very Joe average score for the deal. You only need to use the criteria if you want to make it specific for you. So if you're a new user to BuyBotPro, I wouldn't use the criteria. I would get used to BuyBotPro with it scoring it for you, because it does a very good job of scoring it for you. But once you get more advanced and you get very specific about exactly what it is you want for your deals, then that's the point to add in the criteria and make BuyBotPro even more personalized to exactly how you like to analyze your deals. So
I don't know if you read it out, but Sahil, sorry if I said that name. Sahil, I'm not sure how to say it. I apologize. If you have one license on your laptop only, can you still get the upgrade version? I know Holly's answered it, but for anybody watching that's maybe watching this replay on YouTube, I like to verbally answer the questions as well. So Holly answered it, but your subscription comes with 5 licenses. So if you buy BuyBotPro, you can literally use it on 5 devices. Now, some of those devices might be virtual assistants. So if you've got a couple of virtual assistants, maybe in the Philippines or Africa or wherever, then you can give them a copy of BuyBotPro and they get to use it included in your subscription. So we make sure it's really flexible. If you've got multiple devices, maybe you've got one laptop here, you got a desktop there, you got this and that, and maybe you got VA, boom, you're covered.
We're going to cover something about VAs tonight as well, for those that have got a VA. So we're going to talk about how BuyBotPro can help you work with a VA as well. So yeah, exciting stuff to come. Okay, so Zane asks, so the suggested purchase quantity is based on last year's sales in the same period. What about BSI if that is higher than last year? So there's...
Sorry, I was going to say it doesn't. When I said it's not based on just that, Zane, I was giving an example of one of the things that it's based on. So when we talk about it, it's based on thousands of things. That's just one. Like, that's just one little element. So do you want to flesh that out a bit, Karen?
Yeah, sure. So the suggested purchase quantity is BuyBotPro looking at the deal, looking at how good it thinks the deal is, and looking at any red flags and then suggesting how many you should purchase. Now, obviously, you know, as I said to you before, it doesn't do that about below 68%. It makes you have a look at the deal yourself, because below 68%, it starts to get a little bit grayer, whether it's a good deal or whether it's not. And you need to, you know, have a look at it for yourself and make your own decisions based on the risk factors that you're happy with in your business. But above that, it will make a suggested purchase quantity. The better the score, obviously, the higher the suggested purchase quantity will be. But it won't necessarily correlate completely with that, because it's looking at lots and lots of different things. So it's looking at, you know, all your eligibility and such like as well. So if you're not eligible to sell it, it will not give you a suggested purchase quantity. So it's looking at lots of different things to give you that suggested purchase quantity. But as we mentioned very briefly earlier as well, if in the settings panel of BuyBotPro, you have got a budget and a max buy count. So you need to put in your sourcing budget in there, because BuyBotPro will never recommend you spend more than 10% of your budget on any one deal. And also, if you only ever want to buy 5 of something or 10 of something or 100 of something or whatever it is you like to buy, You can put your maximum buy count in there as well. And then BuyBotPro, even if it was going to recommend you buy 20, it will see that you only like to buy a maximum of 5, and then it will recommend 5 for you. So those are the two parts that work with the suggested purchase quantity within the settings panel of BuyBotPro.
I mean, if you're a super experienced seller, you can probably, it's safe to say it's fair to ignore the suggested purchase quantity, because you're gonna know what you're doing. You're gonna know how many you want to buy. You're gonna know if you're all right with 100 units or if you're all right with 10 units, and you're gonna make that decision yourself. But if you're a beginner or an intermediate and you just want slam dunk deals, then you could stick to that, and the chances of you overbuying or wrong buying are extremely slim. Like it's quite conservative, but at the same time, it's very, very comprehensive. So if it's a slam dunk, it will tell you go buy those. So if you were a brand new beginner and you didn't want to lose any money, you still got to do due diligence on every deal, and we're not saying buy it just because it says suggested purchase quantity. But if you did just want to do that, it's going to be great deals because they're over 68% confidence score. So BuyBotPro is damn confident in it, and it's never going to be like buy 1,000 units. No matter, even if you put £1 million in or $1 million for your buy capital, it won't recommend you buy 100 grand's worth or 200 grand's worth or something. I mean, maybe it would do 100 grand, would it? Would it? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe not. You'd have to have some really weird figures in there for it to like recommend you buy stupid amounts of stuff. So ultimately, if you've got a modest budget, $1,000, $5,000, whatever, and you've got those things set up right, you ain't going to go too far wrong with the suggested purchase quantity.
Yeah, absolutely. At the end of the day, if you've got £1 million to spend and the deal's really good, then go for your 100,000 units. Go
wild. But you've got to make sure, even in that case, you've got to make sure that it's going to sell. If they're only selling like 100 units a month, you won't want to buy 100,000 units because I don't know what you'd do with them.
Okay, so Peter says BuyBotPro doesn't seem to enter the break-even price in PPP. Why is this? It should do, Peter. Please take a screenshot and send that together with the ASIN to support@buybotpro.com, and we'll check it out for you. Okay, so many have just joined. Is there a replay? Hopefully. Depends if technology lets us down or not, but hopefully, fingers crossed. Gabriel's going to go for his 5% BSR, so that's great.
Yeah, just if you're going to go for 5%ers, then make sure you don't buy as many. Obviously, look at the estimated sales and go, right, okay, it's only selling, it might only sell 5 a month, for example. And then if there's 10 sellers on the listing and they've each got 10 items each, then be mindful of that and like keep the quantity down. But if there's like 2, 3 sellers on the listing, they've only got 2 or 3 units each, and it sells 5 a month, then maybe you want to buy 5 or 10 or something like that. So yeah. you got to be mindful of what your competition's doing. But yeah, I used to buy 5%ers. And obviously it depends on category. It depends in US versus UK markets are all very different. So make sure you take estimated sales into account when you're making those decisions. But you won't go too far wrong with 5% if you go steady.
Okay, so Baldy asked if we're getting a discount today for BuyBotPro. We don't have any offer for you today, Baldy. This is just training and information, and to spend some time with us, talk about BuyBotPro, and making sure that we can answer all your questions and share some information on the great features of BuyBotPro with you.
Yeah, so currently there are no discounts. We've not done any discounts for probably forever. I don't think we've ever done a coupon code, have we? That's not how we roll. It's already an amazing price, and everybody that uses it tends to love it, and it pays for itself so quickly in time savings, in preventing bad buys, and just the amount of profit you can make from it. It's just like, it's unreal. So it's not one of those, when we first started, you could get away with piecing information together from this extension and that app and that, and you could kind of get there. Now you just can't. You need a tool. If you don't use BuyBotPro, you need something like it. But for a whole host of reasons, BuyBotPro, I mean, we invented this space, basically. The fully automated FBA calculator, we invented. So, for example, this BuyBotPro score, nobody else does that. Still, nobody else does that. And everybody's there's loads of people trying to copy what we do, and still nobody's copied that one, because it's like, that's where the fully automated bit comes in. You can literally trust it to like tell you if it's a good deal or a bad deal. Nobody else does that.
No.
So
Roger says, is IP Radar correct on BuyBotPro, or can we still sell it? The IP Radar is fabulous on BuyBotPro. If the product is red, please don't sell it, because the reason why it's red is because we know for a fact that it causes issues on your Amazon account. BuyBotPro is linked in with Get Unsuspended. So as soon as Get Unsuspended knows about a brand causing trouble for customers and for clients and out in the market generally, we add it straight into BuyBotPro. So BuyBotPro has got the most up-to-date IP Radar. So if it's red on BuyBotPro, please don't sell it, because we don't make it red unless we've checked out that brand and confirmed that that really is the case in terms of them causing IP issues. So you are likely at some point to get an IP issue on your account if you sell something that is red on the BuyBotPro.
Can I add something to that? Yeah. Can I add something to that? So suspension safeguard is in the upgraded version of BuyBotPro. So you'll see there's two versions of BuyBotPro. One's the normal package without suspension safeguard, and the next one is the upgraded version with suspension safeguard. So a lot of our users have got suspension safeguard. We're talking hundreds of users have got suspension safeguard, and that means that we're monitoring all their accounts. And if they, at any point, if one of those users gets an IP claim or any issues with their account, the first thing they do is message us, the suspension safeguard team, because that's what suspension safeguard is. It's professional help when things go wrong. And so we literally get to know as soon as it happens, because we're protecting all these accounts. And when it comes in, once we've verified that is a legitimate IP issue, that goes straight into BuyBotPro, and everybody's BuyBotPro is instantly updated with that information. So the moment someone gets pinged with an IP infringement, BuyBotPro knows about it, and every user of BuyBotPro, when they click that analyze button, is updated with the IP radar. So if it's red, we know we have a confirmed issue with IP. Avoid at all costs. Now, something that I should add, because somebody got this wrong the other day that was in the group. If it's green, it doesn't mean that there will definitely be no IP issues. All it means is that we are not aware of any IP issues with that brand or product. So we're not saying green means it's 100% safe. We're just saying green means we have no knowledge of any issues at all anywhere. But that's not anything to be fearful of, because like I say, we're protecting hundreds of accounts, and I would like to think, we've got no data that can prove this, but I would like to think that we've got probably the most comprehensive IP infringement database anywhere in the world. And you have access to that with the same click, that when you analyze a product, that data is pulled from our database and checked against the product you're looking at. So if there's a known issue with it, we're more likely, in my opinion, we're more likely to know than anybody else on the internet. Now, I know there is lists out there that are available for free with known IP infringement claims, but that's very different. A list can go stale. What's their incentive to even update that list more than, say, once a month, once every 3 months? There can be an IP infringement claim today. There can be an issue today, and today, every BuyBotPro user will get to know about it as soon as we confirm it. So it's very different to looking at some list that may be made 6 months ago, and it contains a bunch of stuff, but not everything. This is our bread and butter. Suspension Safeguard and the Get Unsuspended team literally do that for a living, and they plug that data into BuyBotPro. So it's comprehensive.
Okay. So Jack asks, does estimated sales take variations into account, or is it an estimate of all variation sales? Okay, so Jack, variations on Amazon are quite complicated in how they work. And if you, I'll answer your question in a second, but if you go to the BuyBotPro YouTube channel, one of these that we did a little while ago, we covered variations in quite a lot of detail on that. So you should go and have a watch of that video, because it will go into quite a lot of detail about how variations work and how the different sorts of variations work on Amazon with BuyBotPro. But Amazon clumps certain variations together and they separate out certain variations. So yeah, Amazon like to make it as challenging as possible. So I would suggest that you always look at estimated sales based on all variations. So that includes all variations. But just very quickly, so that it gives you a bit more information, if there is a variation feature within BuyBotPro. So if you go to an ASIN that's got a variation, underneath the pictures of the different colors or different shoe sizes or whatever it is, there's a variation feature. And if you click that, BuyBotPro will sort all the variations for you, and it will give you a percentage of which variation has received what percentage of reviews. Now, there's no guarantee that it's perfect, but the percentage of reviews is going to give you an idea of the most popular variations that are selling. So if you click on that and you look and you see one variation's got 90% of the reviews and the others have all clicked together to get the other 10%, you know that one of them is selling really, really much faster than the others. If you look at that variation feature and you see that they're all kind of like the same sort of percentage, then obviously you know that there's not a standout seller within those variations. But go and check that video out, because we went into quite a lot of detail about how different sorts of variations work with BuyBotPro and Amazon. But I hope that answered the question anyway.
But you can tell that works when you go to the variation viewer and you look, when it's like colors, 9 times out of 10, whatever's black. So if there's a bunch of t-shirts, the black one sells more than any of the others. It just, maybe that would change over time, but that's just how it is. So, and you'll see in the variations viewer, the black one's got the most reviews and all that stuff. So it's like, it's not guaranteed, but it's pretty good. It's a pretty good way to do it.
Absolutely. So Jackie says hers doesn't show a suggested purchase quantity on any product. Jackie, I would suggest you go into your settings panel, and I bet you've got your max buy count set at 0. So have a look at that, change that to 10 or 20, and then save and sync and go again. And I think you'll find that will probably solve the problem. If it doesn't, please reach out to support, and we can send a picture of your settings panel to support@buybotpro.com, and we can have a look.
Karen, what max buy count does it default to? Do you know?
I think it defaults to 10, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't quite remember.
I was going to say, if it defaults to 0, then we should have it default to probably 10. But
yeah, it should default to 10, and I think it does. But yeah, we can check it out. Maybe Holly can make a note for us to have a look tomorrow.
So max buy count is literally just how many is the maximum you want to buy of any one particular product. Now, if it's a $500 product, maybe you don't want to buy 10 of them, and you'll make that call yourself. But maybe whether it's a $5 product or a $50 product, maybe 10 is the most you want to buy no matter what it is, or maybe 100 is the most you want to buy, whatever it is. So that's it. It's just any one particular ASIN. What's the maximum buy count you want for that ASIN? Just enter that.
Okay, so Sahel asks, is it possible to sell a particular product such as toys when Amazon appears to dominate that category? Sahel, Amazon tends to dominate most categories. So I wouldn't worry too much about that, because if you're going to worry about that, you're probably not going to get very far with selling on Amazon. So toys is a great category to sell in, especially as we're coming up to Q4. It's going to be, it's an amazing category to sell in. But there's lots of great categories, because there's lots of gift support in Q4 and all through the year. Not just about gifts in Q4, but particularly in Q4, lots of gift support, not just for kids. So, yes, be aware that Amazon's on the listing. What you'll see in BuyBotPro is there is a buy box analysis. So have a look at that feature, because we changed it. That's what I was trying to remember the name. We changed it. So have a look at that feature, and that will tell you whether Amazon is sharing the buy box. And that's what really matters, because whether Amazon are on the listing or not, I mean, some people won't go up against Amazon, and that's just a decision that you need to make about in your own business. But when I sold on Amazon, I would go up against Amazon, but I would make sure that they shared that buy box. So check that feature within BuyBotPro. If BuyBotPro is telling you that Amazon do share the buy box, and there's no reason, in my opinion, to not go for it, as long as you can be competitive on price, not necessarily with Amazon, but you can be fairly competitive on the listing, and that you can see they share the buy box and hopefully go out of stock sometimes as well. All of that you can see from BuyBotPro. So have a look at that. And as long as that's happening, then you're all good.
Most mainstream branded products in the top 1% of a category, I would say Amazon are going to be selling them. And that's just the truth. So if you avoid them, you're going to avoid all the fastest sellers. But what you can often see, if you look at the BuyBotPro chart, you can go, right, how many is this likely to be selling? per month. How often does Amazon themselves potentially go out of stock? Because if they go out of stock, then they're not a problem. But I never let it put me off, even if they didn't share the buy box, because back in the day, there was a very expensive repricer that would take the buy box from Amazon. And it was very good. And that reprices hundreds of dollars a month. For all but the biggest of sellers, you ain't going to use something like that. But Profit Protector Pro, I've never seen anything that gets close to that really expensive repricer until I saw Profit Protector Pro. And basically, with the right strategy, the algorithmic strategies within Profit Protector Pro, you can literally take the buy box off Amazon. Now, I can't guarantee that on every listing, but when we've done it in our testing, it takes the buy box off Amazon. So as long as you're willing to be aggressive and give it a nice chunky min and max, worst case scenario, if Amazon don't sell out and they won't give you the buy box, there is always options like bunker busting them with Profit Protector Pro.
Okay. So Zane says, I saw some videos where people rely on BSR, one drop as minimum one sale. Is there any feature which calculates the monthly or daily sale of the product based on BSR? Yes, there's estimated sales within BuyBotPro, Zane, and that will tell you what the monthly sales are. And if you hover over it, it'll break it down over the last 12 months for you. It tells you what the last 90-day sales were, and it's got a really, really clever little algorithm built into it to predict what's going to happen for the sales in the next 90 days as well. So yes, it's got a great estimated sales in there. The estimated sales tends to be quite conservative. It's super accurate up to about 30 or 40 sales a month. After that, it is a little bit conservative. And we've done that on purpose because no estimator is going to be perfect. And there's nothing worse than thinking something sells 1,000 a month, finding out it only sells 50 a month. So you'll find that you'll always do a little bit better than BuyBotPro tells you in terms of estimated sales for the quicker selling items. But that's done on purpose to help keep you safe and not make sure you don't make decisions thinking something sells like crazy to only find out that it doesn't.
Yeah,
so,
we've seen some software and it's like this is selling 50,000 a month, so you get excited, like yeah, and it isn't. It just isn't. It's just wrong. So obviously we're not blaming that software or their algorithm. It is what it is. But only Amazon truly know how many sales they are. So every tool has an estimation. So ours are very accurate on the like Karen says, 30, 40, 50 sales a month, very accurate up to about that. And then anything over that, it's less accurate because nobody can be accurate, but it won't overestimate it. So you're not going to get caught out with a ton of bad products because you bought too many. And that's the idea behind it. But you can literally look at the chart. So in BuyBotPro, it has we buy data from Keeper. So if anybody's heard of Keeper, we spend a lot of money with Keeper buying their data, and then we display it in our own chart, which is using Keeper's data. So our chart is essentially the same as Keeper's chart, but you don't have to pay for a separate subscription. It's in BuyBotPro as part of the price. So if you want to count the dips, you can count the dips if you like, and oftentimes you'll see it's very similar to what BuyBotPro is suggesting. But sometimes, like you say, the dip doesn't always mean one sale. I had it dip once, and I bought something like 100 units, and I looked at what the dip was after, and it only looked like it had made one sale, but I bought like 100 from Amazon or something. So I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something like that. So you can't trust the dips exactly, but that's why nobody can estimate it perfectly, because I could buy 100 units. It looks like one sale because it didn't move the BSR, but it did. It moved it, but it didn't move it much. And it looks like one sale, but it was 100 sales. So only Amazon know that data. And obviously previous sales is no true predictor of future performance. Just because it sold 100 last month doesn't guarantee it's going to sell 100 this month. So the idea is it a fast seller? Is it a slow seller? Getting a rough idea, not it is going to sell 13, because it might not. It might sell 27 next month. You never know.
Okay, so Eric asked, does the IP radar work apply also for Germany? Yes, Eric, because what we found is when Amazon restricts when a brand restricts their brand in one country, another country will follow very, very soon. So if we know a brand is causing an issue in one country, we'll mark it red on BuyBotPro, because 99.9% of the time that follows in a different country anyway. So they'll soon start making it causing problems in a different country. So yes, it applies to Germany, it applies to everywhere. Okay, so Vanessa says, can we please talk about the buttons EFN, MF, bundle, SNL? Yes, right. Okay, so I'll go through those. EFN is European Fulfillment Network. That is not applicable if you are in the UK and selling into Europe, because that European Fulfillment Network went away with Brexit. So EFN is for people who are based elsewhere, based in Europe and selling somewhere else in Europe. So, you know, it can be someone that's in France selling to Germany. That's EFN.
It's also not applicable to US or Canadian sellers. It's literally just if you're in Europe, basically.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so what you've got, Vanessa, is in the settings, you've got the option to change EFN to PAN. Now, we're going to cover this a little bit more later because we're going to cover VAT, because that's slightly more of a, this is more of a UK, EU thing than a US thing. But PAN means that you are registered for VAT in every European country. Now, there's something called International One-Stop Shop, which it also is for selling into Europe. And that we are covering quite a lot of detail a bit later on tonight. So hang on for that, because you probably don't want to set up, unless you're a very big seller, you don't want to do pan-European, because you need to, as I say, you need to register for VAT in every country, which is a red tape nightmare. So unless you're a really big seller, you don't want to be doing that. And if you're in the UK, you can't use EFN. So you can ignore EFN if you are in the UK. MF is merchant fulfilled. So you can, BuyBotPro is assuming that the sale you're going to make is FBA, unless you toggle MF on. And if you toggle MF on, it will let you use MF fees rather than FBA fees. You've also got the opportunity in the settings panel to set your favorite postage. So if you have a certain items and you've got your favorite, I think it's 4 different postages that you use the most, you can set those up, and then they show in the front of BuyBotPro. When you toggle on the MF toggle, your favorite postage costs will come up, and then you can click that, and BuyBotPro will include that in the analysis. Okay, so bundle is something that is in your settings. What you do is, if you're using a prep center, they might charge you, just say 50p or 50 cents for prepping, and then another 20p or 20 cents for a bundle. They're probably more expensive than that, but I'm just giving you 2 figures. So, and then what if you use the bundle, what BuyBotPro will do is it will add the 50p together with the 20p and apply both of them to that particular ASIN analysis. So a bundle is basically, so if you're buying a shampoo and a conditioner together and you're asking your prep center to take these 2 separate products, put them together, create a bundle that's then going to be sent into Amazon. So that's what the bundle is. It adds the prep center and the bundle fee from within your settings page together and applies that to the ASIN. SNL is small and light. It will only come up on an ASIN where Amazon tell us that small and light is applicable, and it means that there's lower fees to be paid, and then you can toggle that on if you are, you know, set up to do small and light, and that's how you do your sales. So there we go.
Great question.
Okay, so you can read the next one.
Peter says, does BuyBotPro assume all competitors are buying at your purchase cost when calculating everybody's profit or loss on the product? No, it's not taking into account the competitors at all with regards to their purchase cost, because we don't know their purchase cost. It only looks at your purchase cost. So
what it's going to tell you.
Oh, sorry, it's on about the competitors thing.
Yeah, in the competition analysis, it's based on your buy cost and what your profit would be if you were to sell that seller's sell price. Yeah,
sorry, my bad. Yeah, so it goes on your buy cost. It don't go on. It don't. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, sorry, I've got that totally wrong. So yeah, their sell price, your buy cost. Yes. Larry says, I have a suspected intellectual property violation for a toy purchase from Sainsbury's 3 months ago. How should I handle that?
Okay, so you should first of all check what's in BuyBotPro, is what color it is in BuyBotPro, and potentially you would need to remove your stock and close and delete your listing. But it really depends what it is and why it's come up, because you don't always have to do that. There are times when it is appropriate to challenge Amazon on that. And there's times when it's just not appropriate and not worth it. You have to pick your battles with Amazon wisely. You have to know when it's a good idea to poke the bear. And a lot of the time, it's often not worth it with Amazon. It depends what the situation is. So, Larry, if you send us a copy of what the email is to help@getunsuspended.com, we will have a quick look for you and give you some advice. Obviously, if you've got a suspension safeguard, then we'll go through that all with you and manage the whole thing with you. But if you don't have it, if you just send us an email, we'll just give you some basic advice on how best to deal with that. So shoot us over a copy of the email from Amazon to help@getunsuspended.com.
Stephen says, will it be possible to look into making a button that warns you when the listing is suppressed if there is no buy box?
I mean, we can do, but it's fairly obvious on when you're analysing a deal with BuyBotPro, you're on the Amazon page. So it's quite easy and quite quick to see that there is no buy box, because it will say it's available from these sellers rather than give you a buy now box. But potentially we could add that into BuyBotPro.
Yeah, you know what? There'd be no issue, would there? We'd be able to, presumably, we'd be able to see if it's not got a buy box, and we could just have it pop up, suppress buy box. So yeah, well, Stephen, assuming we can, and I don't see any reason why we can't, we'll add that to the long list of potential feature upgrades. But yeah, I don't see why we can't just show that information in BuyBotPro. Makes sense too.
Yeah, we can do that.
Jack says, thank you for the answer. This is the video I found from 3 months ago. Is there another? Hopefully Ollie can have a look at that video, Jack, and let you know. Is there a training video to set up BuyBotPro, especially in settings? Yeah, we've got a bunch of different training videos, don't we, Karen?
Yeah, if you go to, we're just redoing a lot of them actually, because BuyBotPro's been changed so much, so we're going through and redoing them all. But we've already redone the video setup one. So if you go to the bottom of your BuyBotPro, right at the bottom, there's a little thing called training videos. Click on that link; it will take you to a page. We're about halfway down that page now, redoing all the training videos. But I think this getting set up is the top one, so it will talk you through the settings and such like of BuyBotPro in there. But anytime you need us, 7 days a week, support are available to info@buybotpro.com.
But if it's a little bit out of date, that settings thing, we are updating it. Honestly, we've been changing BuyBotPro so much in recent months. We've been adding so many features that by the time we've made a video, it's out of date. So we are in the process of sorting that out. So, but it should give you 99% of the basics of what you need. Ashtian says, can you switch to the safeguard version if you currently have the standard version? Yeah, you just got to reach out to support, don't you, Karen?
Yeah, just reach out to support. We can help you with that.
So it's info@buybotpro.com. Info@buybotpro.com, and they will get you upgraded. Jill says, where is the place to inform your ASINs with known IP complaints?
Please send us a copy of the email from Amazon to help@getunsuspended.com or to info@buybotpro.com. Either will do.
So Baldy says, how does Profit Protector Pro differ from the others? We'll talk about that another time, Baldy, because obviously this is about BuyBotPro tonight. But basically, Profit Protector Pro drives the price up without losing the buy box. And you'll see screenshot after screenshot of people selling for like £3, £4, £5, pounds, dollars, whatever, more than the closest seller, and they've got the buy box. But like people would have you believe that if you go more expensive, you lose the buy box. Not with our algorithms. You're not forced to. So it's always battling to get you the best, most profits without slowing down your sales. And it does that using unique algorithms. But it's got a Chrome extension for instant setup of prices, repricing straight from the Amazon page. So you can buy the product once you've analyzed it, set up your repricing. As soon as the stock hits, it starts repricing. So that's unique. Nobody else does that. We've got a mobile app that you can reprice from the bed, the beach, or the boardroom, we like to say. So wherever you are, you can. It's not like pinching and squinting and trying to make some like desktop version work on. No, it's just a glorious app on your phone. We've got custom strategies. We've got automated strategies. We've got all kinds of things. We've got the Profit Protector Pro Boost feature. But again, we'll save that for another session because we don't want to get too off track because we've only played one video and we've got a whole bunch of videos. Vanessa says, so do we not need Keeper? No, for most OAers, you don't need Keeper. If you do need Keeper, then you'll know you need Keeper because it'll be a very unique situation. Maybe you do some hybrid, unique bundling, private label type stuff, real advanced stuff. And you might want it for that. I know some people have it for that, but no, we pay for Keeper's data on your behalf. So you don't need a Keeper subscription to use BuyBotPro. We pay for that data and you get it drawn in as a BuyBotPro chart, but the data is Keeper's data. So it's powered by Keeper. But you don't need to buy a Keeper subscription as well. You can just use a BuyBotPro if you want. But Keeper's a great product. So you know what, if it works for you, if you need it, then by all means get it. But you don't need it, no.
Henry says, on a remark on the current mobile app, it's not 100% clear if there is an IP rating and clicking on it gives no more info. I know you're working on the new app, but thought I'd bring it up. Thanks, Henry. Yeah, all sorted in the new app. We'll share it with you soon. Yeah,
the new app's so close now. We're talking like 2 weeks from putting out to beta. And honestly, these guys are so good. It's not going to be like a 3-month beta or anything like that. We're going to be rolling it out super quick. So I honestly, and you can never know with development, it always takes longer than you hope and is more expensive than you hope. But I really, really genuinely believe it'll be September before you get hold of BuyBot Go. And like I say, built from the ground up, totally different.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I love it. So Mohammed says he's just joined now, so missed part of the session. Would you be able to watch the full recording of the session later? Yeah, hopefully, as long as technology doesn't let us down. Absolutely.
Could I be invited in the repricer video? Henry says, I've been thinking about investing in that with BBP. Yeah, we can send you. I don't know what video you want, Henry. We do trainings like this with Profit Protector Pro occasionally too. But we've got loads of videos and stuff, and I'm sure Holly can probably point in the right direction. But Shauna says, Profit Protector Pro is badass. I highly recommend it. Lovely. Okay, right. Next video, Karen. Which one we doing?
So next video, we promised to do one, didn't we? Did we promise to do the Google Sheets export? Is that the one that we promised to do next?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Are you loading it up? I've got it ready. Shall we go?
Yeah, go.
Go.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk you through exporting into Google Sheets from BuyBotPro. So the first thing you need to do is obviously set up your Google Sheet. So I've just got a blank one here and I've called it BuyBotPro. Make sure that you're logged into Google Drive and then you create a Google Sheet. You just want the connection to be there to your account. And then what you need to do is copy the URL of the Google Sheet, go back to BuyBotPro and come to your settings, and you'll see here it says Google Sheets ID. And what you want to do is paste the URL into there, then save it. So then when you're analysing a product and you're looking at a deal on BuyBotPro, all you need to do is come down to where it says Google Sheet here under export data. Now source URL is where you're going, obviously where you're sourcing the product from, where you're going to buy it from. So that is optional, but let's say I'm buying this product from Argos, so I'm going to copy that there and then I'm going to input that into there, and you'll see that's pasted into there. And then all you need to do is click the little green icon here which is copy to my buy sheet. So literally just click there and you can see it says copy to your sheet. So let's come back to my Google Sheet and you'll see that all of the data is in there. Obviously I don't have any headings in there, but you would set this all up beforehand. The other cool feature about this is if you come back to your settings at the top here, you'll see it says customize next to Google Sheets ID. So if you click that, this is all of the headings that you can export into Google Sheets, which is amazing. You can just bring all this information out. But again, we're all about making it user-friendly and kind of appropriate to you and customizing it. So you might not want to be able to see all this information. So you can delete these. Obviously, these letters correspond to the columns within Google Sheets. So you can delete them, you can move them around, just make it so personal to you in the information that you want to be able to see. So that is how to export from BuyBotPro into Google Sheets. Back to you, Karen and Matt.
Oh, Kaylee's so good at this. I love this. This is really good. I don't know if Kaylee, you're going to watch this back or if you ever see this, but I like these little videos.
Yeah, Kaylee's done a great job. She's great at doing videos. She's really, really good.
Really good.
Really, really good. Okay, so Google Sheets export. We've touched on it briefly before. Obviously, it's an amazing feature. We love this feature. We, as Matt mentioned, we invented this feature in software like this. It was literally nobody else was doing it. Everyone's copied us now, but nobody else was doing it. It was something that was unique to BuyBotPro. And it's brilliant. And being able to customize all your headings and make it really personal as well was amazing. Now, one thing to bear in mind when you're using this feature is that Google don't allow BuyBotPro to export into a line with formulas. So do just bear that in mind. So if you're going to do totals and such like for your certain columns, put your totals at the top rather than at the bottom. Otherwise, BuyBotPro won't be able to export it into the right field for you. And it will export it into the first empty line. And that's only what Google allows us to do. So we're very limited on what we can do, but we're allowed to export it into the first line without a formula in it.
You know what? I've thought of a better solution to that potentially. You tell me if this won't work, Karen. But if they have a different tab on the Google Sheet, they could have all the totals on the different tabs. So instead of having it at the top, they could have a tab with totals on. So then the first sheet is just letting BuyBotPro do its thing. The second sheet's where you do all your adding up and whatever. So you've got almost like a analysis tab.
Yeah, that would work too. That would work too. So has anyone got any questions on the Google Sheets feature of BuyBotPro that we can answer? You have to make sure that you are logged in to the right Google Sheet account, because you need to make sure your Google account you're logged into is the same that you're logged into on your Chrome bar when you're trying to use the feature. Otherwise, it won't work. So make sure you're doing that. Otherwise, and then it works fabulous.
So Stephen says, Alexandru's asked about price history on the mobile app. I don't know if the video in a bit goes into that, Alexandru, where we show you a sneak peek of the new Buybot Go. So it might be worth waiting for that. Does it?
What we're covering later is the history feature.
Oh.
So, and the history feature on BuyBotPro shows you both what you've looked at on the mobile app and what you've analysed on the desktop. But we're going to cover that in a little while.
But you can see it in the mobile app, but I don't know if it's worth looking at the current mobile app because we're 2-3 weeks away from the brand new mobile apps, but it's very similar. But you can see history in the mobile app, can't you, Karen? And you can see history in BuyBotPro desktop too. Yeah. Stephen says, is there some training videos specifically just for VAs that I could send to my VAs? There is some training videos that is not applicable for VA. You know what, Stephen, that there aren't, but you know what would be really good, Karen, is if we actually created a short course that they can give to their VAs to train them on BuyBotPro. Just really concise, really simple. I think that'd be really good. They could use it too, but no fluff, no filler, just real simple, like straightforward English. So even if they speak Tagalog and they speak a bit of English, they can get their head around it or something. Very visual. I think that's a cracking idea, actually, Stephen. Very, very long time ago, before we built BuyBotPro, I built a course just like that. It was called Advanced Arbitrage, and it gave the training to the virtual assistants, but it was before BuyBotPro, so none of that stuff was in there. But I think that'd be a really good little thing that we could give away as a plug your VAs into this. We should definitely do that. That is on the list, Stephen, and it won't even take a developer to do it. So we'll get some manpower on that, and we'll make that happen for you, because I think that's a cracking idea. I think it would be really beneficial, just being able to send them a quick course, and it just gives them it all broken down, beautiful. Eric says, is there any plan to include Microsoft Excel online in the feature copy to sheet? No, I don't think so, Eric. There isn't currently. Having said that, we are in the process of creating some software called Sunfully, and there will be an export to Sunfully feature within BuyBotPro as well. So you'll have the choice to export to BuyBotPro or export to Sunfully. Now, Sunfully is like a gloriously beautiful Amazon seller dashboard, but that tells you your profit, it tells you your ROI, and you're going to be able to do a lot of inventory management and some real nifty little features like getting reimbursements. So chasing Amazon up for reimbursements and things like that. It'll all be done from within Sunfully. So actually, you probably won't want to export to Microsoft Excel when Sunfully comes out. You probably won't even want to export to Google Sheets. When you see Sunfully and when you see the special offer we're going to make to you guys as current customers, it'll just be such a no-brainer for you to get on Sunfully. So actually, exporting to Sunfully will be the smart move rather than Excel. But no, I mean, there might. I don't know if Zapier. I don't know if there's an Excel online version or something, and you can get a Zapier to like connect it or something. But no, currently it's Google Sheets. But maybe, and I might be wrong, you might be able to export from Google Sheets to an Excel document. So then maybe you can open it in Excel. Maybe. But I don't know. Karen, are you okay? You were still with us?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just letting you have a go because I was doing loads of talking. So I'm giving you a chance.
Cool.
And then I'll carry on.
Boldy says, I believe management can a package for both PPP and BBP. It will be cost effective for everyone. So there are no current discounts for having a combined package because we believe that the price we charge is cheap. BuyBotPro ain't going to get any cheaper. At some point, we're going to put the price up of BuyBotPro. Obviously, everybody that's already a customer will get grandfathered in, so you won't pay any more at that point. But at some point, we're going to put the price up. So we're definitely not looking to discount it because we've not put the price up of BuyBotPro in a very long time. We've added so much to it, and we've got some real big features coming soon. So that's unlikely to happen. Profit Protector Pro, same again. The price recently increased slightly, but the price is not likely to ever, well, it's never going to go down because we've made that promise to our current customers. And again, we grandfather them in. So if you set up a subscription with PPP, even though you can't get a discount on it because there aren't any discounts, you can be rest assured that when the price goes up, and it will, because the competition is like charging double or triple for a lot poorer service. So they're like do repricing every hour, and we're continuous real-time repricing. You know, or they'll say you can only use algorithms on 10 of your listings. We do it for all your listings, whether you're on 1,000 package or 5,000 or 10,000 listing package. Your algorithms work for every single listing. So, and they're charging more than us. So they're more expensive for a lot poorer service. So we already know Profit Protector Pro is unbelievable value for money. And once you've used it and plugged it into your business, you'll realize that it's actually costing you more money not to use it. So like you won't want a discount. You'll be like, oh my God, how long was I not using it? Because like I would have made so much more money if I had been using it this whole time. So you just have to take my word on that. But we offer money back guarantees with everything. So if you try it and you don't love it, tell us, we'll give you your money back, no problem.
Okay,
Patrick, no, you're all right. I'll keep going. Don't you worry about me. I could talk till the cows come home, if that's like a saying still, or if I'm showing my age or Britishness. Petru says, on the last month, I could find that BuyBotPro shows me that I'm not eligible to sell or the auto ungate button is missing, even if I'm ungated or I'm already selling that product.
Okay, so the first thing to say is the ungate button will not show up if you're already ungated. So it'll only show up where there is the opportunity to ungate you. So if we know that Amazon say, no, we're not accepting applications for this category, we won't even show you the ungate button because we know that you're not going to be able to get ungated. So it won't show up all of the time anyway. It will do it when it's appropriate to do it and when there's an opportunity to get ungated. As for not being able to sell it, I would think you're probably logged into a different Amazon account in the background, because it's really important that when you're using BuyBotPro and the eligibility, you are only logged into your Seller Central account. Lots of people are logged into a different Amazon, like a personal Amazon account or whatever in the background. And of course, from that, you're probably not eligible to sell anything. So it's really important to make sure that you're logged into the right account, because when BuyBotPro gives you that eligibility, it's getting that information from Amazon. We're asking Amazon and Amazon are giving us the answer. So all we're doing is displaying the answer from Amazon. So if you're logged into the wrong account or it's not refreshing or not logged in properly, then you'll get the wrong answer because it can't ask Amazon. So just make sure you're logged into the right Amazon account. Come on.
I wonder if there is a way for our devs to create something that can tell the difference. Maybe you already know the answer to that, but imagine if when they do it, we can see something different in a personal buyer's account compared to a seller account. And we can go, you're logged into the wrong account. Please log into your Seller Central account. I wonder if there's a way to do that.
I don't know.
That's one for the list, because I think that would be a minor mild upgrade that can really probably reduce support requests and reduce frustration. So we should add that to the list and take a look, because it could be a quick job that.
Yeah, possibly. If we can, we will.
And it's a consistent thing that comes up a lot. You can often be logged in. You buy on Amazon, you use it as a consumer, but then you're still logged in kind of by cookies or whatever into your buyer account. And then you go do some sourcing and it doesn't look like it's working right. And in reality, it's just the wrong account.
Yeah.
Karen's hitting the bottle.
I am, but luckily enough, it's just water.
Perrier, wine, champagne. No, it's not. It's just water.
Is it
water. Italian? Is it Italian in a glass bottle? That's posh.
It is. I've got a thing about like plastic bottles.
Yeah.
I've just got a thing about it. It has to be glass. Anyway, it's enough of my weirdness. Right. So Gabriel says it's very useful to compare deals and have a history. Yep, definitely is. So James says his next job after this is to set up a Google Sheet. Absolutely.
Yeah, Ollie's rightly just said there's recently been an update to the ungating button. So for a while, the auto ungate button, again, we invented that feature. So that feature broke for a while, but we just fixed it recently. So the auto ungate feature works. So if you're wondering what that is, if you're not already a customer, or if you've used it, like maybe you've not used it since you started because it wasn't in there, one click ungates you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. So Steve says, how long for Sunflea? Coming very soon, hopefully next month.
Yeah, so we're expecting for sure it'll be ready by September 2025.
Don't be so mean. That's not the case at all.
I'm kidding. No, we're genuinely expecting it. We're genuinely expecting it to be an open beta next month.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. There's no reason not to. I think we're there, but like I say, software development is more expensive and always takes longer than your wildest, highest expectations. So we are working very hard. We've got a full-time dev team, not just one guy. We've got multiple people working on Sunflea to get that out for you.
Absolutely.
Jack says, love Stephen's idea. Yeah, me too. Go on, Karen.
I was going to say, Henry says, will his Chrome extension auto update when there is an update? Yeah, it should do.
Usually
Absolutely.
does, yeah.
Yeah, usually does. Chrome can sometimes be a little bit slow updating them. So you can always go into the extensions and have a look and see if it says update, and you can do it manually. But Chrome will do it automatically at some point, yes.
Vanessa's just put, oh my gosh, I've been sourcing in my personal account. So there you go. That like this session alone has just changed the game for Vanessa and maybe other people watching this. So I think we should prioritize that as a feature, because I don't think it'll be a big feature if we can do it. To just check that, because I think that probably trips a lot of people up, and we could probably eliminate that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Zane says she's managed to ungate certain categories using certain ASINs without an invoice. I think it could be a very useful feature of ungating. Absolutely is.
Big time.
Love it.
Right. Okay, so let's go to another video now, because if we keep doing questions and stuff, we'll not get the next video. So we'll get the video done. Same again, we'll play a video and then we'll come back to Q&A. So
okay. Shall we do that little history feature? It's only a very quick video, but we'll talk about that a little bit just now. So shall we do that?
I'll hit it. I'll do it right this time. I didn't do it right last time. Ready? Let's go.
So the history feature is a really, really useful feature within BuyBotPro that basically shows you a history of your deal analysis. So if you scroll down to the bottom of your BuyBotPro panel, you'll see here it says ASIN history. So this is basically a record of every time I've analysed this deal on this product on Amazon or Argos, wherever I've analysed it. So you'll see here I've got the date down the left hand side. I've got the source URL here, and you can click on these and it will take you there. Then you've got the buy product, so that's the price that I've put in for my buy price when I've analysed it, and then you've got the sell price here, and you can see I've got a total of 26 entries spread over a few pages, so you can click and look at all of them. So this is really useful if you're analysing something and you think, oh, I'm sure I've analysed this before. I think, was my buy price a bit cheaper, or what was the sell price? You can just scroll down to the bottom and you've got your whole history here. You've also got a search function here, so you can think, I know that the sell price was different once. You know, I can search and it will filter it basically. So I can put in different search terms and it will bring up different results here. The other part of the history feature, which is really cool as well, is if you click the clock here, it will go back up to the top and it will bring up your entire search history. So this isn't just every time you've analysed that particular deal, that product. This is my entire BuyBotPro search history. So you can see as I scroll down, I've got a lot of entries. So the first thing you've got is obviously the product name or title, and then you've got the source link here. So you can click on these and it will open that up in a new window for you, a new tab. You've also got the ASIN, so if you click on that, it will copy the ASIN for you. You've got your profit, so you can see when I analysed this, my profit was £7.11, my ROI was 71.1%, and my BuyBotPro score was 89.56%. And also it says 2 days ago, and if you hover over, it gives you the date and the time as well. So that's really, really, you know, useful in that you can look back and see your entire history of your deal analysis with BuyBotPro. So that's the history feature. So back to you, Matt and Karen.
So I've got two things to say about that. Number one, I'm loving these videos that Kaylee's putting together. She is fantastic, and I would love to tell her that because she is doing a cracking job. So well done, Kaylee. Love these videos. Number two, another one for the minor updates feature that I love when you can click that little clock and it goes to the full history with the images and stuff. But I think we need to make that more obvious because if they weren't on this training, they wouldn't know. So I think we need to change that for a button. I don't know what the button should say. Maybe somebody has got a suggestion for it, but maybe full history or something like that. But we should have a button there that makes it more obvious. Quick 5-minute change. Won't take very long at all, but I think it'll make it more obvious if you've not seen this.
And you know, on that history feature where she first showed you the list, and you could see they were all little circles next to it. That's where when obviously the mobile app's not linked up yet, so Kaylee's not using it. But when the mobile app is linked up, what you'll see there is a little picture of a mobile phone. So you'll see a mobile phone, or you'll see that little round world which tells you that you're on the internet, as in on your computer, rather than on your mobile phone, and it will tell you your history of both. But obviously, like Kaylee's
awesome. You'll be able to see your mobile scanning history. So maybe you've gone in a store, you've done a bunch of scanning, and then you've come home, thought about it or whatever, or done some extra analysis because you're thinking about hitting that store again and you just want to have a look through what you've done. There it all is. And you can see it, what it scanned at and all that stuff, what prices it was and all that stuff. Super, super cool. But yeah, let's make sure that's on the list, Karen. I don't know if Ollie's still watching, but let's get that little clock updated to a button. We can keep the clock, but like whatever, put it on a button or something, put full history on there. Or some words. Huh?
I hope Holly's still listening, but I'll put it on the list.
Okay, yeah, just in case she's not listening. Because she might have got bored.
Okay, I've done it. Did you hear me?
Okay.
I've done it.
Yeah, you've done it. Okay, cool. So corporation pop, Karen, it's cheaper. What does that mean? Steve said.
No idea.
I don't know what pop. I don't know what corporation pop is. Steve, maybe you want to reiterate or let us know. Henry says Buybot Go video coming soon. We're going to show you that in a bit, Henry. Roger says how I will come to know about new mobile app Buybot Go and how to download. So Roger, what we'll do is we'll email out all of our current customers, clients of BuyBotPro. We'll post it in the Facebook group. We'll put a video on the YouTube channel. Will we do anything else, Karen? Is that everything?
That's probably everything. What we might do is put a little notice in BuyBotPro. So you might find that a little notice pops up in your BuyBotPro to tell you it's there.
We'll do that as well. So yeah, so we've got the ability to push like a message into BuyBotPro. So it'll just pop up and it'll go after X amount of times of seeing it. It might be once, or you can click it off. Is it 3 by default? 3.
We usually set it for 3, so it shows up 3 times and then it doesn't ever show again.
Yeah, so you'll see it there. It'll pop up. So it'll be in BuyBotPro, in the Facebook group, via email, and the other thing that I said that I forgot. YouTube channel, that's it. Daniel's just got in. It's going to be a replay. Yes, we hope so. Daniel will upload it to YouTube and it'll be in the BuyBotPro Facebook group. And if you registered, you should get an email pinged out. If this is set up right, I've not done it, so I don't know. But we maybe have a replay email that will go out 24 hours after if it's set up the way that I would have done it. But I don't know if it is. Jackie said she didn't have the ACE in history, but she found it. Awesome, Jackie. Corporation Pop is water. Oh, old school tap water. Okay. Corporation Pop. So we call it Council Pop. That's what I always called it. Did you call it that, Karen?
No.
You never heard of that, Council Pop?
No.
Out the tap, Council Pop.
No. Doesn't matter how many times you ask me, my answer's still going to be no.
Okay, right. What video are we doing next?
I don't know what you fancy. We could do a VA one, maybe.
Okay.
Or it's quite a long one. Or we could do a multi-market analyzer.
Which one? You choose.
Let's do the VA one.
Okay. VA Toolbox.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, VA Toolbox video coming up.
The VA Manager Toolbox within BuyBotPro is a very nifty little feature. So the first thing you need to do when you first start to use it is you need to go down to the VA Toolbox part of BuyBotPro, and you need to go to this page here where you need to sign up for your VA Manager account. Now, obviously, this is all included within your BuyBotPro subscription. There's no extra charges, but you just need to sign up for that. So if you click sign up, that will bring you to this page where you need to enter your details and then register as for the VA Manager Toolbox. Now, make sure you use a password that your VA doesn't know, because you'll need to give your VA your email address and your license key so that they can use one of your downloads for BuyBotPro. But you obviously don't want them to have access to this part of BuyBotPro, so you need to use a password that your VA doesn't know. So once you have signed up for that, it will bring you to this page here. Now, obviously, this has already got some information populated because I'm going to talk you through this, and this is just a test account. But the first thing you need to do is you need to go up to virtual assistants, and you need to add in your virtual assistants. So you need to add new virtual assistant and then enter the information that you want to use for your virtual assistant, and then they'll populate here. What you then need to do is send your virtual assistant that link there. They need to download that link from the Chrome store. Now, that extra feature, that extra download of BuyBotPro is only needed by your VA, and it's needed because it's got additional permissions than BuyBotPro has, the standard part of BuyBotPro has, to enable BuyBotPro to do the screenshots and such like of what your VA is working on. So that's got extra permissions to what BuyBotPro has. So you need to get your VA to download that. You don't need to download it, just your VA needs to download that link, which you can send them a copy of the link, and then they can download that, and then the whole VA Manager will work. So then you need to give your VA your email and your license key. Then they can download BuyBotPro from the regular link in the Chrome store, as well as that. So they'll have two versions of BuyBotPro downloaded if you like, whereas you'll only have the main one. So then once your VAs start to work, you can manage them from within this area here, as you can see. I just got different VAs marked here just so we can see what's going on and when they've last worked, whether they're active or not. And you can change all that by clicking edit, making it active, submit it, and then it will save it. So then we go back into virtual assistants, and you'll say that then Liz is then active again. Okay, so this is the main part of the VA Manager Toolbox. So in here, what you can see is the total deals that have been submitted by each VA. So you can have a few VAs in here if you want to. How long each of them have worked for. How many daily deals are being submitted. And you've got all the latest deals down here. So it will tell you what the VA name is. It will tell you the ASIN, the buy price, sell price, BuyBotPro score, and how long ago it was. So this is just a test account. And the ASIN will pop out to Amazon in case you want to go and have a look at that. Now, these screenshots are blank because this is just a test account and I don't have the VA extra BuyBotPro downloaded. So that's why these are just blank. But as long as your VA's got that extra BuyBotPro link downloaded, then all of these will be populated and you'll be able to see what they are working on. So if we go back up to the top, So this is the dashboard page. This tells you a bit of everything that's going on, and then you can drill down into each of those across the top. So the time logs, you can see exactly when your VA was working, and you can see how many hours, and you can see exactly what's gone on, how many deals they found during that time, how many screenshots were taken during that time, start date, end date. So you can have a look at that. You can have a look at the deals that they found. So once again, it will tell you who the VA is. It'll give you the title of the product, the ASIN and the pop out, buy price, sell price, BuyBotPro score, the date and time they found the deal, pop out to Amazon and pop out to your Google Sheets if you want to go and have a look at it there. So that's where all the deals are kept. Then you've got your screenshots here. Obviously, as I say, these are blank because I don't have that VA extra download on my computer. So these are all blank, but normally these would all be filled out with special pictures of what your VA is working on and where they're sourcing and such like. Then you've got your virtual assistants in here. And then in BuyBotPro, you've got the option to add this deal criteria. So you can change this on a regular basis if you want to, or you can always leave it there to remind your virtual assistants exactly what it is that they are looking for. And you can manage that within that BuyBotPro settings. I'm not going to go in there because it will show the license number. But if you click in there, it will show, you can just change them. It's just like a little pop-out thing, you can change them. And then you've got your settings in there, which is just your email and your name. So it's very easy to use. And from your VA's point of view, if I was your VA, so we've added Liz on. So I've started here, I've logged in as Liz here. She'll get the option to log in, VA can get an option to log in. And I'm logged in as Liz at BuyBotPro, and I can just click start. And as you can see, it shows me that it's monitoring what I'm doing. And then as I go through different websites and do different deals and look at different things, it'll be monitoring and tell me what's going on and letting me know that I'm being monitored. And then if I find a deal and I decide, this will only come up when you actually analyze a deal. So if I analyze a deal, then you'll see that submit deal comes up. I can click submit deal. It'll add the deal into here. So if I go back into here and now go to deals, you can see that we have just added a deal here. So that's how that works. And then your VA can keep doing that, keep sourcing for you, looking for deals. When they finish their shift, they click finish. BuyBotPro stops monitoring and then they are good to go. But it will leave that VA logged in so that that VA has constant access to the VA toolbox, unless of course you remove them within here. So if you remove them within here, then they'll stop having access to BuyBotPro. And that's how the VA Manager Toolbox works within BuyBotPro.
Ooh. Ooh, so if you're one of these big sellers that's got loads of virtual assistants, if you want to, you can monitor them and collect the deals through the VA Toolbox within BuyBotPro. So a lot of people, when they have a virtual assistant, they don't have them use software. They just have them use BuyBotPro. So they use the manual sourcing accelerator. And that's probably how you find the best deals. So you get a VA with the manual sourcing accelerator within BuyBotPro, and you can literally manage them from within BuyBotPro if you want to. You don't have to do it that way. You can do it whatever way you want. You don't have to monitor them if you don't want to, but you can, and it takes regular screenshots, which is cool. But yeah, so Paul says ASIN history is amazing. Nice one, Paul. Glad you like it. David's raised a good point. I like this, and we need to take a look at this. So this needs to go on the list. He says a Chrome extension called Amazon Lite. There's a Chrome extension called Amazon Lite that strips Amazon pages of all the extra junk, makes the pages load faster. That would be pretty cool if BBP had this as a built-in feature you could toggle off and on. Really like that idea. So we should take a look at what that does and see if we could implement it, because there's a lot of stuff on those Amazon pages that you really don't need. So I don't know what it strips, but it'd be good to strip that so sourcing's just faster and easier on the eye. So I like that. So thanks for that, David. Henry says, will you VA also type the source page at the same place as you? I don't know what he means. Do you know what he means, Karen?
No, I don't know what it means.
You might have to type that again, Henry, in different words, because like, I don't know if it's because we've been on here a long time, but my brain's not working right or something. I don't understand what you're saying. Henry also says, manual sourcing accelerator, can you elaborate? Yeah, so we've covered this in another training session, but basically you can go to any website anywhere in the world. You can highlight the name of the product, right click on it, analyze with BuyBotPro, and it will analyze that product. So you can, it doesn't just analyze on Amazon's pages, it can analyze anywhere. So if you're on Walmart, Best Buy, Target, Argos, Sainsbury's, Costco, whatever website, it doesn't have to be a website that we've added to BuyBotPro, it can be anywhere. It can even be a list of products, if you like, from a spreadsheet or something. You highlight the title, right click, analyze with BuyBotPro, and it pops open the analysis. You put the buy price in there, and then you can see the total deal. So you can source manually using the power of BuyBotPro on any website in the world. Now, you combine that with a virtual assistant, and it's like, oh my God, you just rolled up with a nuke to a bar fight. Like, slam dunk. Amazing. Zane says, can VA add source link? And what exactly is the benefit of screenshot? So the benefit of a screenshot is, I mean, we have virtual assistants, we have team members, we don't monitor any of them. At the end of the day, we judge a worker or a team member based on their output. So if you do well, we know about it because you're putting out good work. If you don't, we know about it because you're not putting out good work. So we don't feel the need to monitor them. Having said that, we work with some teams that work with their teams. We work with people that manage teams. So some agencies that manage teams, and they do use monitoring tools. And it's just simply a reassurance from their point of view to let them know that their worker is working on their project and not scrolling through Facebook or doing something else on their time. So if you're paying per hour and you want to make sure they're just sourcing during the hours you're paying them, then BuyBotPro allows you to do that with the VA Toolbox. But like I say, it's totally optional. We choose not to, but it's there if you want to. So some businesses do, some businesses don't. Obviously, you tell the VA that that's happening, though. You tell them that it says monitoring anyway, but you tell them that that's happening and that's the way you want to do it or not.
So Henry says, when your VA finds a product on a different page, how will I know where they sourced it from? It's the same as the Google Sheet export source page. Well, yeah, because they can export to that Google Sheet for you as well. So they can, you know, put that in and export to that for you. So that will work in the same way, and you can add your source information in there, which I think Zane asked as well. So Ryan asks, can we get a right click feature on a link when sourcing rather than copy and pasting the title? Okay, so you don't have to copy and paste the title, you just have to highlight it. Can you do that on a link? I don't know. I don't know if devs allow us to do that, but if we can do that on a link, I don't see why not. But I don't know if there'll be enough information in that link to get the product name, which is what we need to search for. But I think that is the answer, Ryan.
I think what we might be able to do, and what I thought we talked about doing a very long time ago, is making it so you don't have to highlight the product. You can just right click it, and it knows, because the way HTML is, if you right click that spot, if you get everything in that tag, it will get the title. So I think we could probably change that. You're about to tell me I'm wrong, aren't you?
No, I'm about to say that I didn't know we talked about that. I don't remember that.
Yeah. We talked about that ages ago. I thought we'd put it in, but I went to do some manual sourcing accelerator stuff, and it wasn't like that. So I think we can make it so that we don't have to highlight. We could just right click the title, and it should take everything within that HTML tag. I think it works like that on some sites already, but it doesn't on all. Okay, Ollie's added to that. Okay, fair enough. I must have been on one of the sites where it don't work on. It'd be interesting to know why it don't work on some and works on others. But actually, I've just answered my own question in my own head, because I know why. Because not everything will have the HTML tag with the title on there. It'll be passing it in from some server or something that we can't get access to. So or maybe, I don't know. Okay, so let's do another video, Karen. Which one?
Let's do. Shall we share? Well, let's do the multi-market analyzer, because that is the last one we've got before we do some sneak peeks.
Ooh, okay. All right. Right. Okay. So sneak peeks for BuyBot Go coming up soon and features and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll do a video and we'll see you guys in a second, and coming shortly is the sneak peek stuff. So it's exciting.
The multi-market analyzer can be found about 2/3 of the way down BuyBotPro. And what it does is when you analyze a deal, and I've just analyzed a deal here. So what it's doing is it's working out what the situation is across Europe and in the US and in Canada if you were to sell that product. So it'll give you the flag for the country that you're selling in. And if you hover over, it will show you a keeper chart for that period as well. So it will show you a 6-month keeper chart for that particular area. And then you've got the BSR, you've got your buy box price, and it will tell you whether it's an MF seller or what it is. That's obviously Amazon doing, because it's orange, so it will be Amazon just selling as an MF seller. And then you've got your profit if you were to sell at that price, your ROI if you were to sell at that price, and what your break even is. Now your break even is the product, the cost that you could sell at, price you could sell at without losing or making money. So it's not just your cost price plus your Amazon fees, because your Amazon fees change based on your sell price. So it's about working out, if you imagine it as a pair of scales, it's about working out what the fees would be in comparison to the sale price to get that balance, if you like. So that's what your break even would be. And then exactly the same in Germany. So it will show you the keeper chart. It will show you the BSR. It will tell you it's an MF seller. Profit, ROI, and your break even. And it will do each of these in the currency, in the local currency for you. So it will tell you that 19 euros will be your break even. And you can literally go down the list and have a look at all of them. And it will tell you each of the information for each of them. It's got an exchange rate. So BuyBotPro uses dozens of data sources from different financial institutions and banks, including the European Central Bank, to update the rates, and rates are updated hourly. So that's how we work out the exchange rates. And then it just works it all out for you. So if you were to sell in Canada, you might hover over that and decide you don't want to sell it in Canada, because clearly that sales rank doesn't do well in Canada. So it doesn't sell very well in Canada. No, it's selling pretty well in Spain. And it's selling pretty well in Italy. And you can go through and have a look. And in France. Still selling well in Germany, less so, a little bit maybe. And then in the UK as well. So you can go through those. It's obviously not for sale in the US. So there's no information there in the US. So that's how the multi-market analyzer works within BuyBotPro.
And we're back. We are back. So any quick questions? Any quick questions about that one, or do we go straight into the sneak peek? Let us know.
I think what we should do is go into the sneak peek, and then when we've done that, I'm going to tell everybody what we're currently working on that we're going to add in next.
Ooh, okay.
As well as the video, as well as BuyBot Go. So we're working on something else as well for the extension. So I'm going to let people know what that is as well.
Ooh, right.
And we'll cover the VAT bits and pieces and stuff for European sellers only.
So we're going for BuyBot Go sneak peek.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hi everyone, welcome to this short but very exciting BuyBot Go teaser video. So we're still in development, there are still little bits to finish and to tweak and things like that, but I'm just going to give you a quick overview so you can see where we're at and see how exciting this little app is. So when you first get the app, you'll be asked to log in, and then you'll come to this screen because you haven't analysed anything yet. So to get started, you can click on scan just here, or you can click on this here, which is the search bar, and you can manually search for an item that you want to analyse. I'm going to go ahead and click on scan, and then you'll be prompted by this pop-up here, and I'm going to click whilst using the app. Here you can see it says allow BuyBot Go, which is quite funny, but obviously it won't say that once we've done our tweaks.
But yeah, you're not going to want this to pop up every single time you do a scan. So you're going to want to put whilst using the app and not only this time. And here you can see the product. So you've got the title, you've got the picture, you can click view on Amazon should you wish to, and here you can enter your buy price. So I'm going to pop in £3.50, and here you have the current sell price, so that's the current buy box price. And then you're going to want to click on Analyze. And here you can see everything that you would usually be able to see if you were analysing on our BuyBotPro extension. So you've got your profit, you've got your BSR number, your profit margin, your break even, your ROI, your BSR percentage, the costs, and whether the product is oversized or not. You also have your MF toggles, your bundle toggles, and your EFN toggle. Here you have check hazmat and check eligibility. These are currently still in development and aren't ready for me to show you just yet. And then we have our IP alert, so it's saying that this product is totally fine to sell and we don't know of any issues. And then we have the BuyBotPro, the Buybot Go score, sorry. And as you can see, there are a few bits just cut off there, another tweak that we're going to need to make. Then we have the buy price and the sell price. So here you can obviously see that the buy price doesn't have 2 decimal places just yet, and again another one of these tweaks that I'm talking about. You're able to change the buy price here. So let's say that we managed to find it for £1.20 and we click reanalyze. And then it gives you everything again, but with that buy price. You can also change the sell price should you wish to. So we'll change that to £1.69 and click reanalyze. And again, you can see everything changes to come in line with those prices. And then down here we have the previous 90-day sales, we have the 30-day sales, and we have the next 90-day predicted sales. Obviously you can see it still says last 90 days down there, and that's not how it should be, but again, another one of these tweaks. Then we let you know, are Amazon on the listing? No. Do Amazon share the buy box? No, because they're not on the listing. So that's all great. And then you've got your marketplaces up here, and you can click on the ones where that product is available. The ones where it's not available, they are grayed out. And then if we come along the bottom, we've got our graph. Now this is still in development and it still needs a lot of work to make it look pretty, but don't worry about that too much. The major functionality is there. You can turn it on its side, so you're able to view that way, which is really, really helpful. I'm going to hop along to the end of the tabs because this tab is actually going to be brought forward. So analysis is on the end, but we're going to bring it next to graph. Again, another little bit that's in development, but the bit you're going to be most interested in is your competition analysis. Now, it's not showing it just yet, as again, we've still got to work on it, but this bit's going to be great. You're going to be able to see the seller position, the stock level, the price, your total seller stock, and total all sellers. So that's just going to be really great. Obviously, you can't see it right now, but when you do get to see it, you will love it. And if we hop over here, we'll go over to Q. So this feature is so you are able to scan products whilst you're out doing RA, and say you don't have Wi-Fi in whichever store you're in, say Smith's in the UK or Walmart in the US. If you don't have any Wi-Fi and you still want to do RA, you still want to scan those products, this feature allows you to do that. So we'll click on scan barcode. And then it will bring this up. So here you can click on the camera button and you can take a picture of the product that you were scanning. So that's obviously going to be really good for you because you might not remember exactly what it was. It's just really good to just have that there really. I can't show it you right now because again, another bit of the development. Here it's actually bringing in the current buy box price, which it shouldn't do. This should be empty for you to be able to put in your buy price. So we'll put £1.20 in there and we'll click add to queue. And then you can just continue to do this, but I'm just going to hop back and so you can actually see what it's done. Obviously I have Wi-Fi right now, so it's actually already done the analysis for me. But if I didn't have any Wi-Fi, a button would pop up that would say analyze, and you can also use this auto analyze queue down here. So if you have lots of items in your queue, you can click that and it will go through and do those analysis analyses once you have Wi-Fi. So you can click add to purchase if you decided to purchase it, and you will actually be able to click on these so you can go through to the details page, but again, that's another bit that we have to work on. You can also add notes there, again, another bit to add in, but don't worry about that too much. And then if we hop over to history, so here you can see this is all of your history. So whether you have done a scan on BuyBotPro extension or whether you've done a scan on BuyBot Go mobile, you'll be able to see all of these scans in here, and you will be able to click on them and add them to purchase, but also again you'll be able to click on them and go to the details when you need to. Over here we have purchased, so let's hop back to history and we'll just click on here and add this to purchased, and then you can see here that that's there. So that's great. You can create a list of all the things that you've purchased when you've been out doing your RA, which is awesome. And again, along here you can click on the marketplaces to just look at the specific items that you've bought for that marketplace. Then if we just go up here, we have our settings. So you have your account settings, you have your BuyBot Go settings, you have your Google Sheet settings, and you can also choose to log out and turn your notifications on or off. So that's everything for now, guys. I hope that you love the look of the new app. I'm very, very excited to get it out to you, and we will do that as soon as possible. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, then let Matt and Karen know. I'll also be in the comments to help out. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Ooh, how good's that?
It's amazing. I love seeing it come together. I think it's exciting to share it with everybody as well as it gets developed and see it, you know, changing and things happening to it. I love sharing that.
Yeah, big time. Hopefully people can see why development takes so long. You can see like the bulk of it is finished and like working fully operational. But it's like little things like adding the second decimal point on, like, because code don't work like that. Like they have to go force this to be 2 decimal points. Do you know what I mean? And it's a tiny tweak. It will take them 5 minutes to do it, but it's all those little things and some big things that add up, and it takes time. But like I say, we're about 2 weeks away from this going out to open beta to you guys. So super, super exciting. Loved seeing that come to life. And I mean, Henry says it best. This looks 10 times better. No more swiping. Well done, guys. This is exciting. Absolutely. We are committed to making the best retail arbitrage app in the world, and that we're not going to stop until that happens. So our full-time dev team that are on this mobile app right now will stay on it, and they'll keep pushing the boundaries and keep pushing it forward. So super excited to see where it goes. This is just the basics. So it's only going to get better from here. Hopefully that sneak peek shows you a flavour of what's to come.
Yeah. I think as well, what I'd love to share now is, as well as BuyBot Go, we've got what we're going to work on next is we've got a massive feature coming. But just before we do that, which Matt mentioned earlier, but just before we do that, we are going to add in some wholesale bits to BuyBot Pro. So you're going to be able to toggle, add a little toggle, and you can toggle that and it sorts out all the VAT in terms of wholesale. Because obviously when you're sourcing for wholesale, you know, the VAT is done differently on wholesale than it is when you're doing from retail stores. So we're going to have a little toggle that will make things really much easier for when you're doing wholesale. So, that's what we're going to.
That's the big reveal for the next feature, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to work on. We're going to start working on that tomorrow. So that should be with you soon. You know, in a few days, I should guess. So we'll get that done and get that out to you next week, I would think.
So BuyBot Go is a separate team. They're developing now. They're not going to stop. But the BuyBot Pro main team that do the desktop version are going to be working on wholesale next. So we've been asked for this by some really big sellers, and they're like, "Yeah, it's great. BuyBot Pro is great, but the fact that you include the VAT kind of screws me, because like my staff have to work it out without VAT and stuff." So it's like, we're going to sort that next. So wholesale features going into BuyBot Pro. Got some huge more stuff coming as well that I can't tell you yet. The next thing we're doing after wholesale, honestly, game changer. Nobody's doing it. Nobody's done it. We are innovating. We'll get copied, of course, but they'll be 6 months behind us. We are moving mountains with an innovative new feature that you are going to love. And as soon as the wholesale stuff's done, like Karen says, it could be a few days. maybe a week. As soon as the wholesale stuff's done and pushed out to you guys, we're going to get straight onto this next feature. Am I right in that, Karen? Yeah, what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's next. So that's more exciting than the blooming wholesale and the Buybot Go for me. That's even more exciting because it's like, honestly, it's so new and fresh. So let's. Oh, just something I wrote a little note, Karen. I think that we should get Lucy to post the replay of this in its entirety so people can watch the entire thing if they want to. But I think we should get her to slice it up as well and upload the individual videos. So each feature is its own little video. So if people aren't interested in looking at one but they want to skip, they'll be able to watch them all. So we'll put the whole replay up and then we'll chop it up as well. We'll get Lucy to chop it up and upload them as individual bits. So if you just want to look at one feature again, you'll be able to do that on YouTube over the next couple of days. That's all right, Karen. We can do that.
Of course, we can do whatever we need to do.
Cool. Right. So let's go back to the chat. Henry says, could you see a BuyBotPro score on the history?
I think Holly's already answered that.
Okay. There will be when you click through to the full analysis, Henry. There you go. Thanks, Hilly. I'll start calling her Hilly. She gets called Hooli by the devs.
Yeah,
it's just an inside joke. Somebody called her Hooli once. Our old mobile dev, one of our old mobile devs, called her Hooli, and he thought it was Hooli. So she gets called Hooli a lot, but I'm going to start calling her Hilly because I like that. Also, guys, I forgot to tell you on the main homepage there's a button that says scan, and that's where you do a brand new scan. Yeah, we're going to move that button though. Right now, you've got to scroll down to get that button, but we're going to have it always present, or at least present above the fold. So that scan button is going to be ever present. Henry says, great company, always developing. Please give big thanks to all the teams involved. Thanks, Henry. We will do. Appreciate that, buddy. Zane says, I had some issue in Tesco with my internet. It's a really good feature. Yeah, it's going to be great. Our local Sainsbury's, there is no internet. It don't matter what network you're on, there's no internet. So that's why we actually created this feature again. As far as we're world's first, whereby you can literally go in, scan, load it all up. So you just go around scanning, and you can take a photo of the products if you like, so you can remember what the thing was in case like sometimes happens, Amazon doesn't have a product on that barcode. So instead of not scanning it, it might be on a different barcode or some other listing or something. You'll be able to take a photo as well if it looks like a super interesting product. But scan, load like 50 scans up. And then when you go outside and you get 4G or 3G, it will start scanning them. Or you can tell it to, when I connect to the Wi-Fi connection, scan it then. So you can scan your whole queue. So you can go in and super fast scan them all, and it sits in the app. And then when you get connection, it does its thing. Super powerful, super good for situations like that. Issue in Tesco when your internet's no good.
Fabulous.
Eric says, loved it. Jack says, love wholesale setup. Wholesale's coming, Jack.
Yeah.
Mike says, as a complete beginner, this webinar has been fantastic and we'll be signing up to BBP for sure. And with the new feature coming, can't wait. Wait till you see the newest one, Mike. Honestly, people are going to be so blown away. I don't know how long it's going to take because it's huge, but it's such a groundbreaking game changer. You're going to absolutely love it. Vanessa says, thank you very much. This was very informative. Glad that I attended. Cheers, Vanessa. Appreciate that. Right. So we've just upped over the 2-hour mark. So what do you want to do, Karen?
Send you back your money. But apart from that, we are going to, I think we should say farewell and thank you so much to all our US guests, and loved your company. Thank you so much for being with us. And then we should roll the couple of VAT and European things that we've got to talk about, which are international one-stop shop. And also, if you haven't yet registered for the VAT exemption for Luxembourg, you need to stay tuned and do that because it can save you money. So we're going to, and we've added a feature into BuyBotPro to help you with that. So we're going to cover those two next. So I think
that definitely needs cutting up as well, because that'd be so fire, but a lot of people won't have the patience to sit 2 hours with us to see it. So we definitely need to cut those up and put them onto the YouTube and in the Facebook group.
Yes.
So yeah, massive.
They're fairly short. They're fairly short videos, so I think we should play those next. But as I say,
Perfect.
We should thank our US guests for being with us. You're welcome to stay, but I think you might probably be a bit bored. So
yeah, everybody's welcome to stay. We're not booting you out or anything like that. But if you're from the US or you're from Canada or Australia or somewhere non-UK EU-ish, this stuff's not going to be of any interest to you. So we've saved this stuff, the British stuff, to last, because it's only applicable really to Brit sellers and maybe EU sellers. I don't know, but like, so thanks everybody from the US and Canada and everywhere else that's not UK and EU for spending so much time with us. We appreciate your attention. We appreciate your custom. We appreciate how friendly and lovely you are as a community. And we're proud to say that you are BuyBotPro users. We're proud that you use our software. And we're super happy for you. And I hope you know that we're dedicated to making this software as good as it can be for the US and Australia and Canada markets and all those worldwide markets. We want to make it the best tool possible. And you help us do that by turning up here. Look at how many little feature updates we've slammed in here just by a little hive mind bouncing off you guys. Like, so you are literally affecting the development of the software. So thanks everybody for turning up. Right. With that being said, and we'll see you next time. We'll do another training session. We'll do a Profit Protector Pro training session soon. So you want to turn up to that too, our international audience. But we'll do another BuyBotPro one soon too. Right. With all that being said, let's roll the video. Which one do you want to do? Carry on.
Let's do International One-Stop Shop next.
Right. Let's go.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk you through the International One-Stop Shop feature, which is a really new feature to BuyBotPro and is so handy, I think. So this is for when you're selling on Amazon.co.uk, so UK marketplace, but you've got customers who are buying from the EU countries, so buying from you from countries that are in the EU. And it will work out for you how much Amazon will pay on your behalf to that EU country, how much VAT. So obviously, sometimes you might have felt like you're selling blind. You don't know how much profit or return on investment you're actually going to make, because you need to make sure that, you know, you're taking that VAT payment into account, but you're kind of calculating it yourself and you haven't got it in front of you. So that's why this is so handy. So you'll see here, you've got your countries down the left-hand side, and then in brackets is the percentage that VAT is in that country. Obviously, it can vary in some categories, but this is kind of the general overview. Then you've got your VAT column. So this is the amount that Amazon will deduct and pay to that EU country on your behalf if you sell the product at the price that you're analysing at. So obviously I'm using BuyBotPro and I'm analysing a deal. I've clicked analyse, it's done all its calculations, analysed its hundreds of data points, and then this data along with everything else has been formulated. So for example, if someone from Belgium buys my product on the .co.uk marketplace, their VAT is 21%. So if they then buy the product at the price the buy price that I'm analysing it at, the sell price, the VAT will be £10.41. So you don't have to kind of think, all right, the VAT will be roughly this and then the outcome will be this. You've got it here in front of you. So the VAT is £10.41. After that's taken off, then your profit will be £7.70 and your ROI will be 26%. So it's allowing you to see the numbers after that VAT payment has been taken off, which, as I said, is really handy just to have more accurate numbers in front of you. The other cool thing with this is you can customize it. So if you come up to your your settings panel, click on that cog there, and then come down to where it says International One-Stop Shop, you can click customize here and it will open up all the countries that are available. So you can toggle on and off whether you want to see these at all. And then the other thing you can do is move them about. So if you want certain ones at the top, you can reorder them. And you can also add in a custom one at the bottom. So click on the plus sign, you can type in your country or whatever you want it to be here, and then you can put the percentage in there. Just delete that. So let's say, for example, I want to have Bulgaria at the top. So I'm going to move that up there. Click OK. Obviously make sure you save and sync anytime you change anything in the settings panel. And then it's BuyBotPro is just going to refresh. I'll come back up to the top. I'm just going to click analyze. Obviously I want to analyze it again. And then you can see here that Bulgaria is now at the top. So that's just how you customize it. So as I said, international one-stop shop, great for when you're selling on Amazon.co.uk into EU countries, and it just calculates the VAT that Amazon will pay on your behalf to that country and gives you that information, so you just have more awareness of the figures in your business. Back to you, Matt and Karen.
Yo.
Okay, cool. Shall we just run straight into the next one, because the next one's fairly short as well, and then we can come back and do the questions for all of them. What do you think?
Yeah, deal. Right, which one?
It is the VAT toggles exemption for Luxembourg Amazon one.
I was going to say we skipped a couple, but with this last video, yeah?
We haven't shown them all.
Okay. Oh, you're correct.
Of course I'm correct. So hit that one, and then we can answer any questions after.
Okay. See you in a minute, guys.
Okay, so yeah, I'm just going to talk about the VAT toggles, the VAT exemption toggles. So when you're in BuyBotPro, if you click on the little wheel to take you to your settings, you'll scroll down and you'll see there's two toggles here, one that says referral fee VAT exemption and one that says FBA fees VAT exemption. Now, as with a lot of things on BuyBotPro, of course, you've got your tooltips when you hover over to explain a little bit more about them. So basically this is for UK sellers. Because Amazon is based in Luxembourg, which obviously is in the EU, is now obviously the UK isn't in the EU anymore, so you shouldn't be paying VAT on your referral or your FBA fees. You should still pay VAT on advertising costs such as pay-per-click, but not on your referral or your FBA fees. So you can still have your VAT registered settings set. You don't have to adjust that manually at different times, so you can just toggle them on and off here. So referral fee, I'll just show you what it says here. So when turning on this toggle, it allows you to analyse all of your deals exclusive of VAT on referral fees. And then FBA, when turning the toggle, allows you to analyse all of your deals exclusive of VAT on FBA fees. So when we say FBA fees, we're talking about things like FBA fulfilment, storage and closing fees. Now, the important thing to note about this is that please make sure you've requested this from Amazon. It's not just a given, and that then you wait for that confirmation from Amazon for that direction. Don't just decide that you shouldn't be paying it, so you're going to toggle them on and off. It's really important that you request that from Amazon, and then you make sure that you've got that confirmation back from Amazon before you do anything. If you've been selling on Amazon for a while and paying VAT on them, then since we left the EU, then obviously you can claim for a refund, and you need to do this via your Seller Central. So there'll be an option where you can click to request a VAT refund of Amazon fees. That's in your Amazon account in Seller Central. So you can click there and then raise a case and go through the process to request that if you've been paying VAT on those since we left the EU. So as I said, it's UK sellers selling in EU marketplaces because the UK has left the EU, so you shouldn't be paying VAT on your referral or FBA fees, but please request this from Amazon and wait for your confirmation before you do anything. So that's just in your settings panel here. You've got your toggles to toggle them on and off just here. Back to you, Matt and Karen.
I like it. She says back to you, Matt and Karen, and like she's not even here. They're pre-recorded from like before. It's like, but I still like it. It feels like it's a bit like we're news anchors or something. Like she's like a reporter on the scenes, and then just me.
Just you.
Yeah. Right. Any questions, guys? It's been a long session. We appreciate it. It's been a long one, and we're looking to wrap it up now. So any questions you've got, post them, and we'll try and get to them. Sarah says, "Is there a replay?" Yeah, we're gonna do a replay, and we're gonna chop these things up so you get the individual videos or these little sections with the Q&A as well. Vanessa says, "Thank you very much. Very informative. Glad I attended." Cheers, Vanessa. BBP and PPP the best. Thank us, guys. No VAT in the US. Stephen says, "Cheers, Stephen. Appreciate it." Do you pay? This says private. I don't know if it's only to me or you see it as well, Karen. But Eva says, "Do you pay FBA and referral VAT if you're a UK seller selling to UK?"
Okay, so what you should do is go and check with your accountant, because we can't give you tax advice. I think that Well, I think you need to go and check with your accountant. I don't know the answer well enough to be able to answer that with 100% certainty. This is assuming that you have done that thing within Seller Central. If you have not done that thing in Seller Central and you are not VAT registered, then absolutely you have to pay VAT on FBA and referral fees, 100%. But if you have done that thing in Seller Central, then you need to speak to your accountant, let them know what you've done, because they're in Luxembourg, and then I don't think you do need to. But you need to, as I say, you need to go and check and take tax advice, because we can't do that completely. But Eve has also asked if we could explain International One Stop Shop, which is just what the video that Kaylee just did. So that is literally telling you what used to happen is when we were EFN. So when you used to be able to sell from the UK into Europe as EFN, then you didn't have to pay the extra VAT because we were part of Europe. Now we're not part of Europe anymore. You have to pay, you either do pan-European and you register yourself personally for VAT in each of those European countries, or you use International One Stop Shop, and Amazon collects that VAT from you and pays that in that right country for you. So Amazon just does that on your behalf rather than making you register for VAT in every single country. So that's what International One Stop Shop is. It's what we used to use as EFN, although obviously it's very different because you're still having to pay that VAT into Europe. So, but Amazon are collecting it on your behalf, so you don't have to register for VAT in those countries.
But again, double check anything tax related or VAT related. We're not tax software. We're not VAT specialists or anything like that. We do talk to accountants and we do make sure that everything we put in here is as good as it can be. But ultimately, you need to double check everything tax related or VAT related with your accountant, make sure that they're happy with it and stuff. So that's just our little disclaimer, I guess. But AN says, thank you. Eric says, I really appreciate this informative session. It was great to know all these new coming features. Thanks, BBP team. Cheers, Eric. Kay says, where do we find the option in Seller Central to claim back VAT fees? Is that not just start opening a case? Yeah, it's just opening a case, Kay. So you just need to do what you'd normally do to open a case with Seller Central support, and fingers crossed they'll be helpful. But there's no actual button. I think Kaylee made it sound like there was a button that made you claim back VAT fees. I don't think anyone's going to make it that easy for you. You just need to reach out to Seller Central support.
Yeah, I imagine they're probably absolutely inundated with it all as well.
Yeah.
I reckon about every UK seller is doing that, so they're going to be inundated with that request. So yeah, as Mike says, he's waited 3 weeks. I would imagine there's going to be quite a wait. Yeah,
Denise says very informative, thanks. Eva says thanks. Does the PPP have a feature about iOS also? No, Profit Protector Pro doesn't currently have a feature, but does it?
Well, Profit Protector Pro works differently. Obviously, with Profit Protector Pro, you're putting in your minimum and your maximum. So you could take that information from BuyBotPro and then plug it into Profit Protector Pro. Yeah. The Profit Protector Pro is doing a very different thing to BuyBotPro. One's analysing deals and one's a repricer. So they're very different and doing different things.
Sanjay says, thanks for the great session, guys. Super informative and loving BBP. We'll be subscribing to PPP very soon. Right. Okay. We've got to draw a line under it at some point. So we'll draw a line under it right there. Yeah. We have been 2 hours and 12 minutes now. So anybody that stayed with us the whole time, you're absolute legends and total superstars. If you're watching this in the replay, you're superstars too. Hopefully everybody's got lots of value from this. Thanks ever so much for everybody that's contributed and asked questions and even suggested features, because this software is not for us, it's for you guys. Ultimately, we're just trying to make you the best tool possible on earth, and by you coming in and speaking to us as co-founders, we can make that stuff happen. So really, really, really appreciate you guys' time and attention. Thanks for the kind words. Eva says, amazing session. Thank you so much. Paul says, thanks, everyone. Roger says, thanks for info. Mike says, thanks, guys. Joshua says, thank you, guys. It's much appreciated. Zane says, thanks, guys. Steve says, thanks, guys. Great stuff. Right. So thanks ever so much, everybody, for joining us. Thanks to you, Karen. Another great session. And we'll do it again soon, guys.
Absolutely.
Next one will be Profit Protector Pro training session. If you're not on Profit Protector Pro, then you should really consider checking it out, because honestly, it makes you more money than it costs you. It just does. And if you don't like it, ask for your money back. We'll give you your money back with a smile on our face and a big thank you for giving us a shot. But I think you'll love it, and I think you'll get a lot of value from it. And if you like BuyBot Pro, you'll love Profit Protector Pro, and vice versa. So yeah, thanks ever so much, Karen. Thanks everybody else, and that's it, innit?
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Thanks, everyone. Enjoyed your company. Thanks so much for being with us.
Yeah, it's been great. Thanks so much, guys. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye.